Hello, everyone. I I don't know about this light situation. Starting to annoy me. Okay, hopefully it's better. See the small heads that have been hiding since. Okay, okay, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining us on Mangala Cleaning Show. Yeah, where we talk about life, love, and everything in between. You know. So just so that I can annoy Ron, because if I don't do this every week, it will feel like taboo. Welcome to the Marcus School Show! Yeah! Yeah, because I just have to do a song. So I just annoy him there. After the songs I played, you still have to do that one. And I'm not gonna lie. Today was a bit rough, and I just woke up. I was tired. I beg. A human being needed the rest. I needed that rest. And my body is not yet even in the fullness of the rest safe. There's still, a remainder of the rest that needed to still happen. So holidays, yes. Happy Easter to everyone. Barak, it's to Muslim brothers and sisters. And those who can you see what I have to put up with? Can you see what I have to put up with? Me wey get show, I dey enter nothing, not even nothing.
Were you
Producer
not
dey
the one?
enter, na
Wait,
like hurricane.
were you not the one dancing in the beginning? At the beginning, and
What was
seriously,
I dancing?
when
I
the
use
time was going off,
I use my own mouth to greet myself to enter. But you will have hurricane, you will have blom blom, you will have everything to welcome yourself.
choose.
Uh-uh.
I told you to choose. I told you to choose your fanfare. I asked you politely. Choose your
Me, I
fanfare.
want 21 gun salute. Shut up.
But I've already
21 gun
taken the
salute.
21 salutes. That's what I used already. Choose your own.
No, me, I want the one that is like when Queen Elizabeth is coming down from, when she's coming to visit army. That's the one I want. What nonsense like Yamagatis is this? How are you? It's been
Yeah,
a while though. I felt abandoned, but I was like, you know what? Leave the man. The man has suffered enough in your hands. Leave him alone. Let's enjoy his holiday.
eh. Just my children alone. Yeah, wahala. These holidays.
So me, that is part of your children. Me, I'm not.
No, no.
Okay. Next time,
There's
I'm
children
not
and
going
there's wife too. No. I decided to. I needed to rest.
to. Honestly, me, the whole of. I'm sorry. I just woke up. The whole of
Oh,
Easter holiday was a bit rough because on Friday I managed to go out because I had a photo shoot, and Pam was took me to the photo shoot. So I went for that photo shoot, hair, makeup, everything, looking bamest. I put some of the pictures up, and everything. But by the time
okay.
we came back home, I was a mess because number one, that journey into Manchester, my body was like, what the hell? But I know if he complain because somebody is helping me. So I kind of, and she's really doing everything. She had pillows, she had everything to make me very, very comfortable. My body was just like, no, not today. So I just gritted my teeth through everything. When I managed to enter into the house, I just collapsed. So
Was it today or
Friday,
the weekend?
no, I'm saying Good Friday. So Good Friday, that the evening, Saturday, useless, completely useless. I could
Mm.
not, I could barely crawl out of my bed. At a point in time, I just sat down in the bathroom. I was like, there's no point in me trying to go back to the bedroom because I'll have to find a way to come back. And I know I don't have that energy. So I just lay down on the floor of my bathroom.
Mm.
Because I was in such a bad way. Sunday, I mistakenly went online
Okay.
and I saw all the crap that was going on, and it sent me Dulali. It
On
was
Sunday.
on Sunday. So Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, I was in a manic state. So bad. It was so bad. I was afraid if I lock myself in my kitchen, there are knives there. So I couldn't lock myself in my kitchen. I couldn't lock up myself away in my bedroom because there were expensive things for crafting in there that I didn't want to damage. So I just locked myself in my bathroom. The carer
Mm.
that came on Monday, I'm sure she must have thought, what happened here? Because I just went
So
into
nobody
rampage.
came. Nobody came subsequently.
No, nobody comes on Sunday. So I went into
Oh,
rampage,
okay.
managed to eventually calm down, fell asleep. And that's the thing. You have a manic state or a manic phase, you calm down, you sleep, you wake up, and life continues like as if nothing happened. So that evening, there was a DJ Abbas's music thing for Easter Sunday. I joined. I danced like nothing happened earlier in the day. You know,
Okay.
Then Monday. But by Monday, I was physically worn out, completely gone. So when the carer came, she was like, "You just stay in bed. Don't even bother to come out." And then she went into the bathroom and she was like, "What happened here?" I didn't even do it. I just carried my eye like. "Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo." So that's why today's show. I was like,
So you
Lord,
want
I
you want
might
them to be
leave
recording.
you. Eh?
You want them to be recording you now, Abby?
No, my own is I was just like, I will just if I can feel it. I'm shutting down. Good night, everyone. Continue the show. Got nothing to do with me because I have never seen in my life the level of stupidity. And I'm sorry to say, am I sorry? I'm not. It's stupidity. Stupidity
For what?
and uh, that adults are talking about children, sharing videos about children. Like,
Mm.
are you for real? Are you for real? You want to tell me that a child of 13 who is sexually active chose to be sexually active?
Mm.
Somebody somewhere did not look for her when she was younger and started to groom her,
I
and
think
you
therein lies.
ugh,
I think
I beg.
therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem itself.
I could easily have been that girl. I could easily have been that girl.
No, there's a
Easily.
difference between. I think we have to draw a distinction. There's a difference between your own situation and that girl's situation because more videos have come out, so it excludes that from your own case. Your case is special, ours is not.
Why is hers
There
not
was a
special?
tendency, well, because in our own case, before the show came on, I saw one of the newspapers the kind of videos she was sharing, and
But that's
actually
the thing.
somebody
It
posted
doesn't
it.
matter.
Somebody,
That's the thing that people don't understand. For her to be
Mhm.
sharing things like that, somebody somewhere. had groomed that girl. Don't you understand? By the time I was 13, everything
Mm.
seemed normal to me. I knew it was wrong, but everything about sex was
I
because
get where you're
someone had
coming
been
from.
grooming me since I was 5.
No, no, no. The distinction I'm dividing here is that you know that it's the same crime, but the approach was different. That's what I'm trying to explain.
And now somebody that was encouraging her,
Yes.
saying that, oh yes, put out these videos. Oh my God, you know how to do this thing. And
Happy
hey,
class.
Hello.
how you doing, my love?
I'm very well, thank you. What's
You
happening?
they do party for Manchester. You know, invite me to come and chop rice.
What party?
Ah, all of this party that you're hosting, at least come and let me do auntie come and jump, auntie come and jump and chop rice inside.
It's not me now. Maybe they're paying me to do it.
I
You
know.
see?
And now at least you know
Hmm.
that I don't have work. Come here and pay me small money now.
And tell you, okay. When I grow up like you, I'll do that.
When you grow up like me, not true. Me, I
Me
don't
and
get work. You be business owner. You can't tell me say when
ah,
you grow up.
you
Okay,
know
oh.
that the
You see,
Bukata,
this is what we are talking about women empowering women. She knows I don't have a job. She should instead, okay, she's
it's
not saying that me I'm
Olen.
doing big anti vibes. It is well.
Let me say this. I have more than 50 children that I'm sponsoring in Nigeria.
Uh-huh.
So, and if you see my name, the name of NGO and the name of the business, they're kind of linked. So this is me going outside of my way to do charity.
She has
Sometimes
50 children that she sponsor. Sponsor me too now. I'm a child. I'm somebody's child now.
what we need for you, Abby, is to pray for you to find a job so that you can join us in this chariot. Get
You
a
think me
job
I
that
can do 9 to 5? Oga will beat me. Hey,
Hey,
Boogie.
eh,
How are you?
how are you doing?
If I try to do 9 to 5, Oga will beat me. Oh, that's why I'm not doing
Eh,
it.
if you what? Sorry.
If I try to do 9 to 5, my boss will beat
Mm,
me because me that I'm dakudaji every day. No, that's you think that I don't. I was doing a 9 to 5. I was in the corporate world. I was in a
mhm.
very, very, very good job. When you're talking of the height of corporate world, that was my job before. I was a HR. I was a HR now,
Mhm.
hmm.
and then illness came and brought me straight down to the nth degree. So
Well,
from
we are we are we are we are grateful for life.
so
I like
that's
to see
I'm grateful. I'm
positivity.
very, very grateful for life.
Very, yeah.
I'm
So
very, very
positivity
grateful.
in everything that we
Oh
do.
yes, oh
Um,
yes. But
uh,
employ me. At least
like I
I
said,
know
when
that
I grow up,
if I come and do 2 hours, you will not be offended. You already know my
no,
circumstances.
Abby, we are even going to talk afterwards. I'm not going to employ you, but we need your service at some point.
Thank you. Okay, no
Okay.
problem. So
Mhm.
going back
You
to
do
because
pro bono for us.
Me and Ron were already in the, but I'm glad they even came and sort of because I was starting to get a bit riled up. The thing is that irrespective of
Good
how
evening,
many
Ada. Good
videos,
evening. I'm
oh
trying to
Ada,
greet
good
you to
evening.
somebody.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not wearing my glasses so I can't see. So
Yeah.
irrespective of how many videos that child
By
has
the
put
way,
out.
sorry to jump in. Before I started using glasses, my eyes was okay. As soon as I started using glasses, I can't even look at the screen without wearing glasses. So annoying.
That's what happens.
Me,
That's what
my own
happens.
Jeez.
my own situation, I was meant to have started using glasses from when I was 10. My mother was like, no,
Mhm.
nobody in our house uses glasses. Nobody in our house. By the time I was 13, I was a bat. I couldn't see. I was like, she now had no choice but to take me to the optician. They were like, madam, what are you
Hmm.
looking at? Her eyesight is deteriorated. She was like, just put the glasses on. So that's why I started. So I've been wearing glasses since I was 13. So this
OMG.
one, yeah. That's my
All
own self.
right, where we are. Go on, Abby.
Anyways, so glasses situation, baby. So back to what I was telling Ron.
Mm-hmm.
Irrespective of how many videos that child has put out,
Mm-hmm.
number one issue, Chrisland. I don't know whether Chrisland has gone into secondary school, but I was when I was, in secondary school mode, Chrisland was only a primary school. So I don't know whether it has now become a secondary school.
This one is
So,
even
but
elected.
okay. So Chrisland, and if she's 13, she's either just in primary 6, getting ready to go into secondary school, or if she's 10, she's definitely like maybe in primary 4 or 5. So it's still primary school. So somebody somewhere picked up this child from some age and started to groom this child, teaching this child about sex, telling this child that sex is good, and doing everything and saying, oh, you know what? You're a big girl now. You know how to do this thing. Ah, it's very nice. Stop putting, I'll film you. Because it's somebody that's filming her. I'll film you, and then we will put it out, and you'll be famous and you make lots of money. I know today's children, ask them what do they want to be, they'll tell you famous.
Abby, sorry.
Wait,
They have
wait, wait.
primary
Sorry,
school. They have
sorry.
primary school. It's something that I just wanted in
Oh,
regards to
okay.
what you've said. They have nursery and primary school. They have secondary stroke high school. They have pre-degree college.
Okay, so they
So,
have all of that.
mm-hmm.
But the time that I knew them, it was only primary school they had. And a child of that age, is either someone who is still in primary 4, 5, or getting ready to go to secondary school. That child is still a child. Somebody somewhere groomed that child to the point that this child became proficient. It is no secret. I have not hidden it that I was molested as a child. I've not hidden it. That child could easily have been me. Because by the time my molesters were done with me, they used me to practice every form of porn. And if not for the grace of God, and for somehow that the prayers that, my father was praying over me, that was still putting inside my soul that there's something not right with us is going on, that made me run all the way to the north to go and do my secondary school. I started secondary school at 13. So I could easily have become this child. Easy. The only thing was we didn't have social media. If we had social media, they would have filmed me doing all kinds of stuff. And end of story. So when I'm seeing adults blaming
Calm
this
down.
child and saying, the girl is not innocent, though. Like, I want to.
I don't think anybody
It
has blamed
makes me want to
the
go.
No, no,
People
they
are
have. They
blaming
have.
her. They
People
are
are blaming
blaming
her.
her. Adults are asking to see the video. I have not seen the video. Please send it to me. Like, in what world does anyone ask to see the video of a child? And then they're like, that girl should be a bun girl. That one done lost. Really? And this is why we will continue to fall apart as a society in Nigeria when adults are not enraged by the fact that a child's life has been destroyed. Because even if they want to now, that is rehabilitation. That is, oh my God, rehabilitation like no man's business. It's not prayer time, oh. Because one of my classmates was like, hey, we need to pray. I was like, pray? She needs psychological help. She needs to sit down in therapy and be decommissioned. Because only God knows how many years that has been going on. Then you can put prayers along. But therapy, she needs to first of all, because for a long time, this child, if she's not, if she doesn't get the help she needs, you know what's going to happen? As she grows up, she's going to negotiate all of her relationships with men with sex. Sex is because that is the only currency she knows she has. And that is all. Even her romantic relationships, the older she gets, when she goes into her 20s, all of her relationships will be negotiated by sex. The very thing that she hates. Because that's the funny thing. A lot of people don't know that people who have survived abuse or who have gone through abuse, they actually hate the fact that they know sex. But it is the only currency they know. So they will use the very thing that they hate to negotiate through life. And to just see people just dismiss the travesty that has been done to this child's life and say all kinds of rubbish.
I don't. I think it's lack of awareness as well. So I won't really put like 100% blame on the people talking, because they can only talk from what they know. All right. What I have noticed is many of us as Nigerians, I've said this before and I'm going to repeat it. There's something called empathy that we lack. Now, empathy doesn't mean that we don't talk about issues, but it means that when we are talking about it, we try and put ourselves into perspective. So if my child, God forbid, well, it could happen. I wouldn't say God forbid, but I pray it doesn't. But I'm saying if my child was the one in that video and somebody that's closer to me say run and just say, oh, I saw that video unknowingly to him. And he said, I saw that video. The child is a pro. How do I feel as a parent? As a parent. Because the
But
first
do we
thing,
need to be parents to have empathy? Do we
no,
need?
no. I'm saying that you don't need to be parents. I'm saying something now that how does see the empathy is best described that you putting yourself. You don't have to necessarily be in that shoes, but you imagining that this is your child or this is somebody else's that is closer to you's child. And that is when you can get the clearer picture. So I can say that we sympathize with people a lot. Let's say this child now, after this whole thing happened, she now went to commit whatever and die. We will sympathize with the child. We will sympathize with the mother. You understand what I mean? So our approach is always very different, which means that we do something first, then we come back and start to think about it. The issue is not about the incidents alone. It's about how we react to things generally. How do we react when we see things? Somebody shared it. Somebody shared it. So they share. For instance, you see this video now. It's just like a 10-year-old. No, I'm not going to watch this. It's a conscious effort. Now you sit down, you watch it, and then you're saying, "Oh, that child I'm watching is an expert." Have you tried to visualize or make sense of what you're saying? I know we are trying to do this vindicative. Who was wrong? Who was somebody was saying, "Oh, the boy might be the wrong." Just shut up. The mom should shut up. Everybody shuts up because the mom, on the other hand, is not. She is still living in La La Land. This thing has happened. Has happened. What is the way forward?
In fact, I just started doing jump and pass because I'm telling you, I went into a
I
really
can
dark
imagine. I can imagine the trauma because for you, it's different from what we are talking about. I was nearly raped. Yeah, and I was nearly raped by somebody that was they entrusted me into to say, look after this child. All the people wonder, why are you so hard? Why are you so, if you're smiling to me too much, I'm angry. Don't smile. This is my normal way of life. Don't smile. You understand?
That's just from that.
You understand what I mean? Stop smiling. When you're saying, oh, you're being safe, you're this, you're that, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't move me one bit. And sometimes some people, even because they've seen that attitude, people made you, because if you smile too much, oh, the reason that person did that to you is because you're smiling too much. The reason that person did that to you is because you're wearing clothes. Is the reason I love to wear short skirts. I've been wearing short skirts all my life. But if I wear it in a country like Nigeria, somebody will be like, oh, the reason that thing happened to you is because you're doing this. The reason this happened to you is because blame, 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 blame. Let's look at ourselves as we blame others. Let's look at ourselves. Let's look at ourselves. For me, any of these topics, when I see them, I don't just listen to them. I use it as a talking point. I call my kids. I tell them, why are we not having sex? Sex is not something that we shouldn't have. That people, you're not going to die if you have it. But the point there is that, are you ready? Can you live with the consequences? Can you live with the consequence of it when it happens? Can you? So it's that realization as parents. I think we I would like to under think of what our children can do. Underestimate, yeah, that's the word, of what our children can do. Christian no more, pagan on more, everything. Because as long as you're not going with them everywhere that they go to, they are not limited to the house. I've seen a lot of children, they will be in the house, they are the most angels that you can see. But as soon as they are out of their house, they become something else. All the things that I know about sex was taught to me outside my house. Nothing.
Same here.
And I wrote it there. My mom said to me, I'm a very curious child. You know those children that they said, oh, see, beg you. I'm those children. I want to know those things. And my mom was like, if you touch, you'll be pregnant. And I began to wonder, touch what? She said, don't touch any man. Don't let anyone touch you. I said, Bo, my daddy touched me. He said, where? He said, no. I said, my daddy always touched me. He said, you don't touch me. What do you mean don't touch? You ask too many questions. I said, but I want to know what you mean. It was a big deal. She feels so uncomfortable to discuss with me. She feels so touchy or edgy whenever I ask those questions. I say, you said don't touch. I don't understand what you mean. And then I get to school. And the school children, they'll be laughing. Because the things that I don't know, they look at me like, you should know, even as an adult. There's some things that even when I talk about it, that I just said this thing, 5-6 years ago, people would just be laughing like, you want to tell me you don't know. All these words, have you reached this? Have you done this? I don't know it.
Whose phone is that? Someone's tablet is going off. The
why,
thing is,
why are we not comfortable to talk about these things? Why can't we talk? Because the things that they've done to me on those years is the fact that I don't know those things. It means that whatever they taught me outside was it for me. Because they outside, even though they're going to teach me nonsense, but at least they made me aware of what is going on. Whereas when I get home, I can't ask my mom, what's this? They'll be like, no, you're not supposed to talk about that. You're not supposed to. Okay, when?
Is it now, where did you hear it from?
Now they've forgotten the fact that they've told me not to do that. Yeah. But do you know that the same parents that are telling me don't know these things, few years down the lane, and now the same parents telling me, when am I bringing a guy?
Am I bringing a man home? From where?
A man. And I can tell you for a fact, if there's somebody that showed their parents what it means for what they've done to me, I did show them. Because for years, even when I was dating, I was like, no, they don't know no one. They'd be like, we have to take you to church. Oh, you know, like this world is getting to out of hand. Oh, no man. I said, no man. Because in my head, I'm thinking, if I was listening to you, how can I graduate from don't talk to a guy and then automatically be ready to marry? How? When? They still did not tell me anything. So we are going to blame the child that, okay, she learned that thing from somewhere. Where? Did we talk to that child? You would have seen your child. You know, children are not the same. And to answer that question, that what age, the age that you see that some children at 8, their height is like I kobe. So you have to start engaging them.
A child is even from when it, because the thing is from the moment a child is able to understand that, okay, this is my body, right? So you teach your child stranger danger. You teach your child, touch me and I'll scream. So like I've I've seen a few programs here in the UK where they're teaching children as young as 3 that
Yeah. But
this is my body.
there is
Wait,
level
wait,
to the
wait.
exposure.
Yeah. They're saying this is my body. This is my body. So they make them know that okay, the top part of your body
Mm-hmm.
is your body. The bottom part of your body is your body. The back part of your body is your body. Anybody who touches me in my body, I will scream. And I will go
Yeah.
and tell mommy. Because number one thing, it is opening up the channel of communication between you and your
And
child.
the child.
A
Mm-hmm.
lot of us grew up where you couldn't even be watching TV and people are kissing and you're sitting in the living room. Are you crazy?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You better have disappeared before the kissing scene finishes. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and those are the things. You're like, are you for real? Did you beget us? Let us use the Bible word. Did you beget us that in the living room with you by
Mm-hmm.
osmosis? You went into the room and did things, and we came out from it. So why are you then treating us like, because let me, you said something, say, God forbid that it happened to my child. The people that it happened to their children, did they
No,
forbid
and
God?
I said, and
No,
even if
no,
exactly,
I'm not being
yeah,
angry
I
with
get
you.
what you
I'm
mean,
just saying
though.
the
I get what you
people
mean.
who
We
it
all say
happened
that
to, the kids that it happened to, the
they
children it
didn't,
happened
they
to.
didn't, they didn't
You
say,
know,
they
they,
didn't
they,
pray
they
for.
didn't write a letter to a molester.
I take that.
Hi, Candy. How
Hmm.
are you? Okay, I can see you're in your uniform, so you've been very, very busy today. The
Just
kids
getting
that
home.
molesters look go after,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't write a
Mm-hmm.
letter to a molester.
They
And
didn't. They didn't.
most of the time, children who are being groomed are groomed by people that they know, that their
No,
family
trusted people.
know. Let's be realistic. Many of us, not everyone, but many of us grew up where there was a particular uncle, especially us, the girls. There was a particular
Mm.
uncle that came to the house that immediately our mother would tell us, oh, yeah, inside the house. We were not allowed to be around that uncle from the moment he stepped into the house until he left. And he will be the one that will bring lots of sweets and goodies and be like, come and greet me. And your mother will look at it like, let me go see you go near him. So even families knew the molesters in their family.
They won't talk.
And they'll be like, no, and they will still let this person into their homes.
Mm-hmm.
And what
Hypocrisy.
they don't understand is that the molester is looking that, okay, they are at home today. Let me see, ask some questions, and then that person will come when the parents are not at home. I'll be like, you don't want to come and greet Uncle Nia, come and sit on my leg. And it starts from
Mm-hmm.
there. Most kids are molested by people who know them,
Who know them?
who know
Yeah.
their family, who they know. So for anybody to look at a child and say, this child is a pro, this child one, this one is way.
Could we say that it was ignorance? Could we say that they are ignorant?
No, it's not ignorance. I refuse to go with the word ignorance.
Sorry, so that we
It's
manage.
Bookie,
Sorry, so that
Bookie
we
was gonna
manage
say.
and let everybody go round. Then we can come back and start.
yeah,
Yeah.
because you know what, I
Bookie
need to
was gonna
step
say
away
something.
because
Yeah.
I'm starting to get a bit flustered. I need to step away, so
Okay, go
I'll
on,
be back.
Bookie.
Hi.
Okay. Hi.
It's not ignorance at all. I think it's a case of a society that is desensitized to these things. So in our African society, we've not been raised with, emotional sensitivity like that or empathy. We're raised with hard hands. We are not cuddled. We're not. How can I say? We can't give what we haven't absorbed.
Well, we don't
growing up.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and also we live in a society where, especially in older times, I'm not sure whether it's still as strong a practice now, where, children are married, children are given to marriage. Child marriage is accepted, is not frowned upon in some parts of our society. And let's now add it with the modern age of hypersexuality, where we are there's sex everywhere, and there is a very poor and casual attitude to sex. So the result of all of these things combined is that there is a loss of innocence in children a lot earlier. The innocence of children, becomes sacrifice to these things, and we don't. They will say those sorts of things about a child because they don't have any sensitivity. There's no demarcation now. The lines between a child and adults are blurred because of the kind of society that we live in, whereby I heard a story the other day where a stepfather raped a 15-year-old daughter. The mother went to a meeting of some sort of a group of women, at least over 10 women, and she sought their advice. And their advice to her, at least 90% of them, was that she send the girl away and keep her married.
I saw that as well.
The mentality is all wrong. Nigeria has a deep psychological issue with these sorts of things, and that's why they can berate a child for something that they really are not responsible for. The thinking is messed up. So I think some of these things contribute. It's largely the way we are raised. We are a harsh nation. The way we interact with each other, we are harsh with each other. We're not, obviously not everybody, but the majority
of us.
Yeah, we're harsh. The way we even speak to each other, you get a group of Nigerians, because they're shouting when they're supposed to be talking. You'll think they're having an argument. No, that's just the natural way they communicate. Yeah, do you know what I mean? So it's just a case that we are a desensitized society. So and where you have a lack of sensitivity like that, it's also accompanied by low moral value. And where there's low moral value, then you're ethically challenged. You're not going to see these kinds of things as an issue because there's no moral value to it, I don't think.
Oh, Candy. Oh, are you done, Buki?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Candy, can you come in?
I mean, Buki has said a lot. I also think a big part of it about, especially what's going on right now with the 10-year-old girl and the way adults are, I think we place no value on children whatsoever. I'm sorry. We place no value whatsoever on children. You would never see such a thing in a place like here because they always protect the children. You would never see a kids' videos plastered all over the internet. You would never see people actively seeking out more videos of this poor child and saying you're spreading awareness. There's a reason why when things like sexual abuse happens, they never put the child's name in the news. They never show the child's pictures. There's a reason, because we're supposed to protect the children, but we do not value I'm sorry. I'm triggered because it's just really upsetting to me. The way people, we have no children to us are the way we treat our children. Like I said, it's no value other than them being retirement plans. We really do not value our
Candy, that's harsh.
It's the truth. I'm not referring to you guys, but I'm just saying.
No. I understand. I'm just echoing what you said. It's the truth.
We want children to be not heard, not seen. We the way we treat our children, and that's why people can look at a 10-year-old girl or 13-year-old, whatever it is. It's a child. The way people are looking at this child and relishing and discussing her sexual prowess, a child. She's a child. Calling her a pro, calling her this. She is not a pro. She's a child. The fact that we can't realize that for a child to have such experience, something is broken somewhere. And the way people are talking about this little girl, it's heartbreaking to me. It's disgusting. I can't I want to cry because this could be my 10-year-old girl that, hopefully not, but I'm saying I'm putting myself in the shoes that, everybody's talking about parenting. Unfortunately, we can't see everything our children are doing. Not to say it's an excuse or whatever, But I mean, even I mean, I never did half of what kids are doing these days, but there are things like if I told my parents, my brothers and I were getting up to, they'd be shocked, but still, children make do stupid things. In fact, there are studies that show that the frontal lobe, which is the where impulse, is not developed till like 22, 23. We're supposed to protect the children, not splatter them all over social media talking about anyways, you know what, I'm gonna stop right there because I'm gonna just
can we is it possible also to add to that children are numerous in Africa, Nigeria, Africans have very, very large families and they keep having children that they can't take care of. And the majority of these children end up being neglected and therefore, are prey to predators because the parents can't possibly watch over them. And the parents, even although they chose to have them in such large numbers, they now can even become, how can I say, annoyed at the responsibility, that they have to feed them and look after them. But hold on, you chose to have them. There's so many children. When I visited Nigeria last year, children all over the place, in the gutters, everywhere, and no parents in sight, the majority of them. So it's easy to see how they can be groomed and be taken advantage of. As you rightly said, there's no value for them, but you keep having them. Why do you want to keep having them? You can't take care of them because of the stupid notion that, children are a blessing from God. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't apply common sense.
Exactly.
You're bringing that child into a world of hurt and torment and pain just so you can satisfy your pride that you're a man, you're a woman, and you've born a child. But what kind of life are you exposing that child to? What are you giving that child? So it's very sad. It's very painful.
It's very disheartening.
No, shockingly, the school that the child is going to is not a cheap school. Now, looking at it from a different. It's a private school, right?
Yeah. The private
looking at it from
was
I'm going somewhere with that.
Your school.
Yeah. I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this. That so automatically this means that the parents of this child are not poor. Maybe they are okay. So they are okay parents, meaning that they probably have money. And sometimes when parents do have money, they tend to kind of get carried away with it and then shift their responsibility. Now, if I was living in Nigeria, I probably have maybe like one or two house helps. Okay, if I was living in Nigeria, so I'm not trying to blame anyone here, but sometimes they shift that responsibility to someone that is going to help them to look after these children. This could have been an issue where the child got everything mixed up and all of that. And I'm very, very sad to say that I don't really want to use the parents of this child as a scapegoat of the society, because it's not even them. Let's agree that this video got leaked and we have a sensible person who saw this video first. And our issue, our culture to such video is that, you know what, as soon as I see this, I trash it. As soon as I see this, I trash it. It's not going to be, it's not going to go viral. It's not going to go viral, but it's just that stupidity in us that we don't understand data. We don't understand that the significance of it. By the way, I saw an adult on my timeline, which is someone that somehow, I feel that our level of mentality is quite low. So, but for some reason, I'm still in between. I don't know, like when somebody is really daft, in my opinion, because aside from the fact that this person was not able to share the video, still went on this child's supposed Instagram and started sharing her pictures and started sharing her videos to say that, this is the child that you said this, but you have your own child. And we all know we've all been children before. And that's why all I've been doing so far since today is that to bastardize ourselves, to say that we've been mad, many of us, because there was no social media. It makes us look like we are so pious, we're so neat, we're so, and I'm saying this now, good thing, my parents are late, but somebody is watching and they're wondering, like, are you that bad? Maybe at 20 or 19, I traveled out of the country. And my parents thought I was just somewhere, maybe I went to Polytechnic or wherever, and that's where they thought I was. But anything could have happened in that place that I traveled to. Many of those did so many things that we can't even say it out to say that this is what we did. And somehow we survived it. So it's the curiosity, is the I want to see what this is all about. I want to, and I'm not saying maybe the child, but I wouldn't judge the child. I will want to know this judgment. You know what I mean? Any of it. We want to know how can we help? If you have a child that's got this kind of a thing, what do we do?
Abby, I'm sorry, but you see, I still calm down. As I said, I didn't watch any video. I didn't watch it as well. The only way that I stumbled, I'm even talking about the video because the video of the mom was sent to me several times, and I was like, I'm not interested in what you've got to say, lady. And it's not because I have no empathy for her or anything. I was just in a state of mind of, I really don't want to even, like a friend was, I said, I've had to shield my mind because, as I was telling Ron earlier, I went into a manic phase, a really bad one. And I had to lock myself in my bathroom because that was the only place that I could damage without much consequence. But the thing is, even the parents, when I saw the video of the mom, when they send you a video to show, well, mine comes with full, it doesn't wait for me to download it. So I saw the mother sitting there and it had the caption, the mother of the girl that was whatever, and she was sitting there, and I was like, if it were my kid, although with the way I know that I am, I will be such a helicopter parent. And I don't care what anyone says, because I'm not going to let whatever happened to me happen to my kid. Never. But if it was my kid, I won't be giving interviews. I would most likely have been locked up somewhere because I would have done something drastic. And this is I'm sorry. And this is the thing. How did your child get to the point where at either 10 or 13, she's having sex, according to some people, like a pro? I can't even imagine sending my kid, if I'm living in Farnworth, and they tell me, the kids are going to one something in London, and you think I'm going to sit down in different water and let my kid go to I would not have to go in, but I will go. We are going together. I'm not putting my kid in a plane going to some place to go and do some competition with somebody, and I'm not going to be around. It's impossible. No matter how busy I am, my kid comes first. It's impossible. So that's number one. Number two, how accessible have you made yourself as a parent to your child, that your child can come and talk to you? Mommy, something is going on. Mommy, this happened. Only God knows at what age that child has started to be groomed. Because whether we want to accept it or not, that child was groomed. And that child was groomed under the parent's nose, because she didn't become a pro one day. She was groomed.
Well, we need to stop saying she become a pro. She's a child.
No, I'm using it sarcastically. Yeah. I'm using it sarcastically let's
not even do that. It's a child we're talking about.
That's the thing. It's so disgusting. And Candy, just like how I was telling Ron earlier, that could have been me. That could have been me, because as of age 13, by the time those two boys were done with me, there was nothing about sex I did not know. And they started when I was, at least the older one started when I was 5. So only God knows when that child was picked up and started being groomed.
So would we blame your parent for that though?
See, at
the end of the day, my parents will deal with. They are dealing with whatever the fallout is, because I told my parents, and they are dealing with it whichever way they want to deal with it. See, the thing is that I'm not going to sit down and lie and hide and be like, oh, my childhood was wonderful, and nah, that's what happened to me. And the reason why, and I know a lot of people when I spoke up about it, they insulted me, they abused me. Some people called me out of concern. You should never have said this. How are you going to find a husband? And I said, let us get something clear. And that's why when I keep saying it, that I'm not interested in marriage. So you see all these shackles that people use to hold people down from speaking the truth. Me, I don't have them. I am bipolar, and I was abused as a child. Bagam, what are you going to do about it? I don't have the shackles of nobody is going to love you, nobody is going to want you, because I don't want them. I don't need them. So I don't have those shackles. So I'm going to speak my truth. Whether it pleases anybody or it doesn't please anybody, that's not my concern. I'm hoping that when I open my mouth and speak, that somebody's brain will wake up and be like, whoa, okay, maybe I need to start looking at my kids a bit more differently. Maybe I need to start looking at my relationship with my children a bit more differently. This is not about me. This is about children coming in the future. This is about children happening now.
See, can I just add something to that in terms of, because we're talking about parents now. I think I like you. I don't know who said it. I'm leery about placing all blame on parents. Not to say there's no culpability. There is obviously, we as parents. I mean, that's what so many parents now are helicopter parents. We do have to do a little. We do have to do a little bit better. But I also do find especially typical Africans, we always. I mean, I've seen a lot of people laugh at the way Western parents do some things. We parent with fear. We parent our children with fear. We make them afraid of us. We think that fear is the same as respect. We don't make our children feel comfortable with us. Children are not afraid to come and tell because we've put that fear of God in them. We've scared the shit out of our children. So when something is going on, they're not gonna. I mean, the whomever is taking advantage could be like, they know how we are, so they know that these children are not gonna have the confidence to confide in their parents. Like we don't draw our children close, if that makes any sense. We don't let them know that, you know what?
Yeah, we treat them. We treat kids.
Recently, my daughters
like we were treated like appendages for sending. Like if your parents want something, there's this old Yoruba adage that you have children so that you'll be able to send. You can have someone to send on a message. That if you're in a polygamous setup and one of the wives has children and one of the other wives doesn't have children, they can actually use it in a form of insult. Like if she should ever ask any of the children of the other co-wives to do something, they'll be like, why don't you go and give birth to your own? Go and give birth to your own so you can ask them to do stuff for you. These ones I give birth to them so that they can do stuff for me. We treat children like they are made for us. They are made for us. And this is the thing. Somebody said this a long time ago. I think it was also mentioned on this show. I think Candy, you were the one who said something like this. I might not get the quote right. Said that we don't own children.
Yeah.
Yes, we give birth to them, but they're not our property.
Yes.
And we need to stop treating them like they are our property. They're individuals in their own selves, and they should be treated with respect and treated with love and care. Yes, they are fragile and they need us to guide them, but they are not our property that we now treat anyhow and be like, oh, like how some parents would just take their kids. And I understand the economic whatever, they'll take their kids and go and dump in some auntie's house and be like, oh yeah, we're going to stay with auntie so and so to make sure that things are easier at home and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, most of the time that child is not consulted. That child is just told to dress up, carry your clothes, and next he finds himself in Auntie Lagwaja's house. No consult, nothing.
I mean, even with that, circumstances might warrant that. But if you make your children know that if you can parent your children, you can discipline them without putting the fear of you, without making them afraid of you. You know, even if that's the situation where your circumstances, shit happens, and you feel, yeah, you do have to send your kids somewhere. But also, if shit is going on, let your children have the confidence to come and tell you. My parents, I've only sent I and my brothers somewhere once ever. I think I was probably like maybe, I want to say maybe 5 or 6 years old. They sent us on holiday to Abeokuta to my aunt's, and she essentially starved us. And when we came home, we told my mom. We told her. We told her that we were not eating. We were not being fed. And ever since then, my parents would never, ever send us anywhere. We never stayed with any family, anyone, ever, anywhere. So I think even if things like that, it's all about letting your children know that they can talk to you about anything, no matter what. Kennedy told her dad a few weeks ago about not wanting to go to her friend's house anymore because her friend had done something that made her uncomfortable. But she could only tell us that because we've made her know that she can come to us whenever, no matter what, and we'll deal with, like, she should never be afraid to come to us. But we don't. And unfortunately, typical African parents, we don't have that with our parents, and it's very sad.
And I'll be like, tell me now. Tell me now.
Let me share this. I think my last daughter. Good evening. My last daughter is on a how will I put it? She's on a plum size, and they called me from school one day to say that they think that she needed to be wearing some kind of knickers under her skirt because she's on the plum size, and she's 10. And I said to them, "Have you spoken to her?" They said no. I said, don't stop invalidating children. So don't come to me to tell me what you need her to do. Talk to her as well. And then I will also talk to her. And then we both can do this together. I'm just citing that illustration to say that I can just say to my child, wear it. But you need to let them know the reason. So when I said that, they know, moving forward, they know that anything they were going to tell me about my child, I said, did you have a word with her? So most times is that, I'm thinking maybe the teachers have seen something, but did they have opportunity to kind of, work together as teachers and parents? Were you going to say something, Buki?
Is this whole thing of children should be seen and not heard, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think we all just need to work together. Parents, teachers.
Buki, you're muted. Buki, you're muted.
You're muted.
Sorry.
I know you're trying to say something, but
I think I have to disagree with you a little bit there because I think there's a lot of pressure on teachers. They are educators. Their job is to educate in knowledge. It's not their job to parent like that, and I think they're right to tell you. I don't think it's their place to speak to your child about dressing and decency.
To be honest, teachers, I was a teacher, and we are not allowed to speak to children about things like that.
I don't think that's the job of the teachers at all.
No, it's not the job of the teacher, but given the child in question, which they are aware of. See, for every child, there's a need because they already know this. So I'm saying that if you know the child in question, quote and unquote, you will know how to. You can't use one rule doesn't fit. It will be another child that will say no to that. No. But for the child in question, they are aware.
When it comes to teaching, and I can say this categorically because
I can say that as well. I studied. I did a course in there. So I know exactly what I am saying.
I actually was in schools, and we are not allowed to talk to children about things like about their dressing. Like if a child has a headache, we have to call the parent to ask if we can give them paracetamol.
Depending on the level of the child. So if you're saying that children that are in high school, you can't tell them when they're doing what to do. You talk to them, you talk to their parents. And I'm saying that is in primary school. And I'm saying this categorically because of the need of a child. they need to communicate with her as well. So I won't say more
I
than that.
don't think so. I don't think
Yeah.
so at
No.
all.
But because of the
No.
need of the
They will have
child,
to ask
when
your
they
But that's
permission.
your
already
Now that
know,
hold
you
on,
need
they
their
hold on.
permission.
already know,
How your
they
child is
already
dressed,
know.
how your child is dressed to school is your job and your
Your
problem.
It's your job.
Like I
They are
So they
said,
there.
have to
like
The
I
listen to you
teachers,
said,
the
first.
teachers
like
have
I
enough
said,
pressure. The teachers have enough pressure. Some of
like I
them have
said,
30
the
children.
need,
Hold on.
the
Some of them
need.
have 30. It's not
Wait,
about that.
Abby,
It's not
wait,
about the
Abby,
need.
No,
wait.
because they
It's
already
not
have
about
the
that. Can
need.
I just
You
explain?
have a
Can I just
child.
explain? I'm not attacking you. Sorry, I don't need to come across as though I'm attacking you.
Okay.
I'm not.
No, you can't attack me. Why would you
I've got
attack me?
friends that are teachers, and some of them have 32, 34 kids in a class, and you
Yeah.
know, the task of educating them alone is a tremendous pressure on them.
That's
We
see
should not.
now if we
Hold
link
on,
that
hold
if we
on.
link
We
that to what
shouldn't.
we are
Hold
saying
on.
now, then people who are blaming the school can't blame the school. You see, when it comes to duty of care, it's not limited. There's a
But
reason.
it's not. It's
There's
not duty of
nothing.
care. It's not duty of care. It's not about abuse or anything. It's about your child not being appropriately dressed, and that is your job as the parent to make sure that
Okay.
your child is appropriately dressed whenever they leave your house. That's not the teacher's jobs. It's not about a duty of care. When we talk about duty of care, we talk
The
about children
duty
that
of
are in
care is that
need.
they're even
Yeah.
speaking to you.
We talk about children that are in need, children that are being abused, children that are, you know, emotionally damaged. That's duty of
I
care
am
to tend to
saying
those
that I
children.
am saying that duty of care is not limited to somebody that is being abused alone. When you see something that could lead to something else, you don't wait. That's more or less like safeguarding. When you don't wait for things to
No.
happen before it
They did
happens.
the right
I
thing
am
by
saying,
informing you, and then you're supposed to take it up and do
like,
something
Abby,
about
I'm
it.
telling you
Because
like
that's
that
I
your
said to
child.
you, they already have the plan of the child that they're talking to, and they know the child. So when I say that they need to, all I'm using that as an example was that maybe the teachers might have seen this trait in this girl, and before the time, and maybe they would have had a word with the mom or the parents beforehand. That is the
Yes,
reason I use that illustration. It's not
yeah, that's
linking.
fine. But we're just speaking.
The safeguarding is set up in every school. They're trained to spot things like that. Yeah, they're trained to spot it, and they have a duty of care, like you say, to report it. You know, over here, just a little bruise on a child, or a child says something, they've taken the
Yeah.
child. They don't play with that. They don't play with that.
Before I left teaching, let me tell you something. Before I left teaching, right, there was a time when they sent a circular around to us and said, after every weekend and after every holiday, we had to speak with each child individually and sort of check their body to see that there was no bruise or that kind of thing. But not strip them, but just check them and ask questions. So how was your holiday? Did you fall? That kind of thing. And that particular thing that was sent to us said, pay specific attention to children of African and Asian descent because their parents have a tendency to be heavy-handed.
Wow.
So they tell us what to do. As a teacher, there are certain things. That was one of the reasons why I left. Was if a child is ill, or is not feeling well, and I was teaching like very small children from like 4 years old, 5 years old, right? And this child comes to me and is like, I don't feel well and wants to be cuddled. I, as a teacher, cannot cuddle that child. I can't.
No, you can't.
I can't touch the kid. And I was like, a child wants to be cuddled. They don't feel well. The first thing they want is somebody to carry them. And you're telling me I can't carry this kid. Ha! We are in trouble. So we are giving rules and regulations.
If that child has a need, right? And that need is already in the child's plan, that what the child will need before the child bells out for anything is a cuddle. They probably have a special needs teacher for the child.
Yes, they'll have a special needs teacher,
which is what I am talking. And I'm talking that the school is aware of the need of the child.
It's okay. So if the school is aware that there's a plan, then put in
I
place.
referred back to the school. So I am saying that if the teachers have spotted something in this child that we're talking about, not until now
Yeah.
that things escalated, they could have discussed that with the school, with the parents. And the parents in question, or maybe they would have said, some parents, what, growing up in Nigeria, if some teachers see something in you, before they even call your parent, they want to talk to you and see. Maybe, it's a one-off thing, or maybe if they can talk to you like guidance and counselor thing, maybe you can change before they escalate it to the parents. That is the reason I use that example,
Well,
not
is
because.
Chrisland a
Do you get what I mean? So I'm
mom
not
system
saying
is
that
very much
they'll do that to
based.
everybody. It's just children with needs. So I'm imagining this need of this child is that maybe they've seen the child, the way that she smiles with every other child. Maybe they've seen that the way that she's doing. She's very, you can tell by looking. And then you can call that child to say, stop, and when you see that child is still continuing, you can just talking of moving forward. I'm not saying that that's the reason that
No, but
happened.
Abby, Chrisland has been a school that has been mired with scandal. Scandal after
maybe.
scandal after scandal. So already duty of care is out the window. Because this is a school that is more interested in the money that it makes from the parents bringing the kids than actually taking care of the children. So they do all this highfalutin stuff, or taking them off to some competition in Dubai and blah, de, blah, de, blah, de, blah. And even the school tried to cover its own ass by, first of all, taking the child away from the parents, claiming that they were doing a COVID test to go and do a pregnancy test.
Wow.
That's
So
crazy.
this is a school that is already known for misconduct. So already, code of conduct or whatever for the child safeguarding, that's already out the window. They don't care. And it's very obvious that they don't care, because they were all about protecting.
Sorry,
Mr.
we are
H.
passing the 1 hour mark, Mr. H here.
Yeah, Mr. H. Sorry, Jerry. Mr. H. Yeah.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
It's good to see you guys again. Yeah, this we're talking about this sex education thing, when I heard about the Chrisland saga, which I'm happy that Abby said Chrisland is not new to scandals, because they've been on this for a long time. I think my sister went to Chrisland, my brother went to Chrisland a long time ago. But what I want to say, what my own contribution to this is that parents, especially the mothers, should be able to counsel their children, and to take note of little things, when the child goes to school, because some of these things the child because when the children get to school, there's this sometimes they form like a clique. I don't know if you know what I mean. Even like the girls, but they form like a clique. If you say you're a teacher before, Abby, you know what I'm saying. Maybe there will be some group of people, some group of girls or some group of guys that will form a clique in the class, and you see you see that they're sexually active, and they begin to maybe watch pornography or bringing a sex magazine to school and begin to talk about this thing. This is when the school need to come in. Actually, the school need to have. We need to begin to discuss. I think we discussed this thing some times ago in this show, that parents need to begin to educate their child. We shouldn't wait for the deed to be done before we sit them down and begin to educate them. And we need to begin to see if we notice anything in the female and even in the male child, because sometimes they do hide a lot of these things from us. And sometimes the parents don't want to talk about it, because sometimes parents are probably shy or they don't know how to go about it. We should, because I think a few days ago I was on, is it Instagram? There is a mother that called, is it 65-year-old man that was shouting on him, and why are you talking to my daughter like that? Maybe any of you have seen the on Instagram.
He was trying to call his he was trying to set up the 13-year-olds to meet him up for a romp.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. We as adults, we need to begin to look into our male children when they begin to reach the stage of puberty, and we need to sit down and begin to talk to them about all these things. That okay, these are the signs, what is going on, what is not going on. And sometimes teachers in school too, the school need to make it mandatory that there should be a social worker in the school that that can help kids that are going through this kind of phase, to discuss with them, to tell them what they because sometimes there's always a first time for everything in life, and we cannot hide that. We cannot hide it. When I was in school too, we have group of students that are always, we know them, when they're always talking nasty in the class, and they're always, sometimes they're corrupting other students as well. So what I'm saying is that everybody should be involved in this sex education thing, because if you don't get involved, it's like some people don't want to even discuss. Some parents don't want to discuss it, and some parents want to beat their children when they hear, oh, she's talking to a man, or she's talking to this. They just how our parents bad behave. So what I'm saying, my own input is that we as parents, we need to be extraordinary vigilant. And we need to sit down with our ward and talk to them about this, about sex education. We need to sit down with them and explain to them. I think it was Candida was saying the last time we had the show, that was saying that you need to tell them about condoms, and if you do this is what it's going to lead to. They need to know. If a man, like imagine a 65-year-old man telling a 15-year-old girl to run to form lies in the house, to run away, to come and meet him, they can say that kind of thing. If the mother didn't find that, probably he would have just done that.
The girl went to tell her mother because the mother made the atmosphere where she could come and talk to her. And you could see that she was talking to the man very comfortably, very quietly, like nobody was there. And meanwhile, her mother was in the room. And the mother, at the point in time, I felt that the mother was telling her, tell him this, like, tell him 4 o'clock or that kind of stuff. And the man was very comfortable. And the man had the nerve to say, oh, I thought she was older. I thought she was 18. He's in his 50s. Because she actually knows him. She called his name. She called his name and said, I know you, Mr. Tony, something. She called his name. I said, you're in your 50s. So even an 18-year-old is still not within the age group that you should be looking at to be having dalliances with.
Yeah,
now,
because
I like what you said, Mr. H, about having guidance counselors in schools, because our school did that. We had guidance counselors, although, and no disrespect to her, or if her daughter is watching, I felt that our own guidance counselor she focused more on trying to convert people to Jesus than to actually counsel them. And I was like,
it's still part of it.
Lady, enter. You understand? Sometimes again, it's getting the right, because you can get someone who says there's something, but then get someone who is actually trained to do something, and is getting people with the right qualifications, who understands that their job is not to come and make anybody feel guilty or make them feel bad, but actually counsel them and say, this is the way to go, this is the right thing to do, that kind of stuff. Now, the other question, I'm surprised at myself that I'm actually lasting this long on this program. The other question is, how early can a parent start looking at educating their kid?
Okay,
I know we touched on it briefly, but that's
a very, very good question. And I would say, to my own opinion, I would say it's when you start seeing, maybe as from when you start seeing that sign, children develop, early. You can see some 11-year-old girl already coming, like getting breast, 13-year-old, 14. So immediately you begin to see that the body is beginning to change. I think that is the right time to begin to sit down with either the male child or the female child and begin to talk to them about it. There's never a time that is too late or too early. When you just, as a parent or as a guardian or as a counselor or as a social worker, when you begin to see changes in a child, obviously you will know Even if you go to schools, when you go to a class, when you can point out the ones that their eyes are open. You can, even the way they talk to you, you will know that. Even in schools, we know with the way they talk to you, know that this one is already knowing something. That is the
But this is the other thing I want to ask. For the case of avoiding grooming, because if you're saying, oh, you wait till the one that's starting to show that they are showing puberty,
let me
then
answer that.
Candy.
I think you have to start talking to about sex with children as early as possible in age appropriate ways. Like, you said, grooming. Kennedy knows there are parts of her that nobody should touch. When she goes to see her pediatrician, when her pediatrician is assessing her pediatrician obviously has to look at every part of her. And she would also tell Kennedy, only mommy and daddy can not even touch it, but if they can look at it if there's something wrong or when they're giving you a bath, but nobody else is supposed to be touching you down here. You have to do it age appropriately. I don't make any bones with her. I talk to her about it. I let her say the word vagina. I let her say the word penis. She needs to know it's inappropriate for anyone to touch her in those parts. So you start teaching them from the beginning in age appropriate ways. As they get older,
more like bite size
into it. It starts with the body parts. Knowing that it's inappropriate, this is all part of sex. It starts with the body parts. So you start once, like even Lincoln at 2 years old, he plays with this thing. And, right now he doesn't understand. But once he starts understanding, I will talk to him about it. The moment he starts to understand, you can touch it, but you don't touch anybody else and nobody else is supposed to touch you over here. Like that kind of thing. So you don't have to wait for them to start developing. No, you start teaching them about this stuff, because even like I was saying earlier, there's this one girl like in our old neighborhood that Kennedy loved. I mean, this was like her best friend. I didn't. The girl could be a bully. She's like 10 years old. She's a little bit older than Kennedy, but Kennedy's known her since she was a baby, and Kennedy adores her. And when we moved, sometimes her grandma would babysit if I needed babysitting, and I'll drop Kennedy there. Recently, Kennedy went and her dad went somewhere, and she told her dad she didn't want to go there anymore because the girl touched her inappropriately. And these are little girls. Like she felt confident enough to tell her dad. So when you said mothers especially also should, no, I'm sorry. We're two parents home. We're two parents. Everybody should be aware. It's not the onus is not only on the mother. Kennedy told her dad first that she felt she didn't want to go there anymore because there was some inappropriate things and she felt uncomfortable. And then her dad came home and they told me also. So like I said, because she knows that there's certain areas of her body that nobody is supposed to touch. She's 6 years old and she knows this. And when this happened and she felt it was inappropriate, she told her parents, because we've made her sure we've let her know that, like I said, nobody's allowed to touch you here. And if anybody should make you feel uncomfortable, you come and tell us. So it really begins from high. They don't need to puberty or start developing breasts or anything before you start telling them, before you start teaching.
I think I agree.
You don't make the child feel guilty that they have been touched or someone has tried to get fresh with it. And that's the other mistake. Parents will be like, so a boy is not touching you, Abby. Boy, what's the meaning of that? It's not the kid's fault. The kid didn't write on their chest. Touch me, please. No. So, and that's why I was saying, what is the right time to start? Because I know that in some places start at 3. Stranger danger. Don't touch me. Stranger danger.
I think it's knowing that we can break it down into bite size. So it doesn't have to be like a full piece of education. And also, as you're growing up, I said of my 10-year-old now, the things I'm going to teach my 12-year-old when she was 10, I'm not going to teach my 10-year-old now because of her needs. Okay, so I'm going to look at her and look at the things that can break down, because there's no point in telling her things that she doesn't even understand. So the first thing, like you said, is the body parts. Talk to her. Nobody should, and that is very clear to her. But now going to this is how they do it. Don't do this. It's like just waste of space because she doesn't really understand it. So it has to be child appropriate. It has to be, you have to break it. I think when people hear sex education, what comes to their mind is that, oh, you want to tell them how they penetrate and all of that. No, that's not it. That the big thing to talk about is, now it will get to a stage where you can tell a 10-year-old about that. And that is the fact that you have to know your child. So it's not somebody else's child, it's your child. So you can start conversation. You can start with an 8-year-old, depending on the specific child. And I use that as an example. My first child started using the phone at maybe 9 or 10. My second did not start until like 10, 11. And the third one, of course, she's not even started using phone until she's 10. So every child is different. I had to know that you understand that when you're using...
You know that thing you said about phone just now, I was about to say also social media. Parents have this tendency to go, this social thing in my bob. I don't know anything, I beg you. Oh, you're doing TikTok. Oh, Snapchat. Hey. And meanwhile, these kids, they get bullied on social media. They get trolled. They get... people try and force them to do things, online.
So why?
We need to be social media conscious as
with
parents.
the social media one. As a parent, first I said no to social media. Then I met a child that was like maybe 16 and all of that, and I was looking at her and I started talking, engaging her. This is not my children, not my child. So I was engaging, and I started seeing that the way she was relating was the fact that, you have to discuss the reason why, so I'll tell my child, you want to be on social media. Why do you want to be there? So let's talk about it. What are your aims and objectives? So my daughter is on Instagram. She didn't get to Instagram until like 14 or maybe more than 13 anyway. That's when she got there. But what are you doing? What's your aim? So I started engaging her to say, have you been on Twitter before? What do you really want to do? Who are the people you're following? What do you intend to gain from this particular thing that you want to be there? So people go on Facebook. Why are they going there? Let's know the reason. Some of us, we just want to get used to our community. We just want to know what our community is doing. This is digital print. Have you discussed to them that whatever you share there is going to be there for the rest of your life? And whatever you talk about, people are going to keep that and going to save that for the rest of your life. It's possible they can retrieve all of those information. So it's not just about don't do it. It's about, if you do it, this is what's going to happen. The consequence, we need to kind of echo. And the consequence is not about fear. It's about understanding that if you put your leg here, this is what is going to happen. You're going to burn. And so you can then decide as a person. So you're not going to come out and say, I don't know, this is going to burn me. No, we discussed that with you. And then you then have to make a conscious effort to know that we've discussed it with you. You remember that there is a danger in doing this. So if you're not sure, please ask. Please ask questions. You want to know. If you want to watch this thing, why do you want to watch it? You want to know about it. What do you really want to know? Let's talk about it. So that is how to engage children in conversation.
The thing you just said there? In college now, this is not even secondary school now, college.
Yeah,
we had to go through all kinds of training, not training, but like awareness things. So one of it was social media. So even me with my own self, I sat down in the class. They were telling us, why do you go on social media?
Why do you want to go?
No, like asking us questions. Why do you go on social media? And there was this guy in my class. She's 19, and she was like, to be famous, of course. And I'm like,
really? Yeah.
And that is the thing. In her head is fame. And when someone has such a lofty idea that this is why I want to go on social media to be famous,
then they can go and be dancing.
When somebody now finds out that this girl's idea is all about fame, guess what is going to be coming their way?
Yeah, the kind of people that would,
So, but it was very well handled in the class. They were like, oh, yes, it's okay to be famous and everything, but you know that you can be infamous also if you go with the wrong thing and you let the wrong people and you get drawn into the wrong stuff. And they really, I was like, even though I was like, okay, I know about social media, but it was nice to sit down in that class.
Yeah, and the way we can learn this as a parent is that sometimes we need to move with children that have passed a particular stage. Try to think in their head. So meeting, for me, one of the turnaround for me is me meeting a child that is like maybe 17 or like 18. And I wanted to check with that child that, okay, do you understand why do you do this? And the child was actually the one lecturing me. So sometimes we can learn things from children that are much more older than our children, and then just learn. It doesn't. You don't necessarily have to copy whatever anybody's saying, because you have to do everything bespoke to your family. So but it's good to listen, it's good to learn. Many of us don't know these things, and to play the devil's advocate for a lot of Nigerians, they don't know any better. Our parents don't know any better.
But part of this, we can't keep repeating the same stories.
We can't keep repeating the same story. That's why I said that these parents might be the scapegoats. Okay, we can't keep repeating the same stories. But the thing is, we all have that whatever, that we ought to start educating one another. And that's why a platform like this, somebody will see it, hear one or two things that we talked about, they will go to their own corner as well, discuss what they need to talk about, and that's how we learn. We are not. Somebody asked me one question recently. It said to me, what do you gain from going on social media? You're not making money, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Inside of me, I cringe, because actually I am not making money from it. But you know what? I know that if it's one person that I educate in a day, it gives me joy. If it's two people that I educate, and the fact that we have to keep, the consistency, the fact that you're telling the truth, says as it is. It's not like you're sugarcoating the truth. If it's you're going to rip yourself up sometimes. Sometimes I come there and say, like, you know what? I'm not even a saint myself. I'm this, I'm that. It's that integrity, to promote integrity. What we want, we have to showcase it. That value system, that's what we lack.
We don't make money here either, but I've said this before and I'll say it again. If we start to make money, or when we start to make money, because Ron will kill me if I say when we start to make money, everybody in the panel, of course, gets a share, because we make this show. It's not Abby that makes the show.
I'm dedicating my own share. I'm dedicating my share already.
So we all get a share when the money starts rolling. So everybody starts working hard so that
you understand what I mean. We need to get to that point where we know that whatever we are doing, I read Candice's page a lot of time, and I see the little that I see. It's not too long ago that we connected on there, but the little that I see is the fact that your integrity is showcasing. We might not have money to give them, but it's the way that we decide, the way that we, I do charity work in Nigeria, and sometimes when you ask people, oh, you need money, why do you need money? They'll be like, oh, they're looking at me like, why is she asking me a question? I said, I'm going to ask you a question, because every kobo counts. And this is strange, because coming from a place where everybody do give away, and somebody's now asking me, how much do you want to give me? Is it more than 5,000? Yes, every kobo counts. I went to Nigeria and I spent 2,000 naira. I spent 2,000 naira to buy food, and I've said this before, and I've been hearing people saying that, oh, how much is 2,000 naira? When I finish those food, and I'm not kidding, when I finish those, I can't even have dinner. This is lunch. And I'm thinking, what a flip. These people tell me all sort of nonsense. Oh, 1,000 cannot be enough. 2,000 cannot be enough. We cannot do anything. So the point there is that it starts with little things. We don't have to be that magician one day.
400 naira bread. There's 400
That's
naira.
That's what I mean. No, but when they want to
butter, that is food.
Yeah, you see, the thing about this thing.
I'm sorry, Abby. I'm sorry. Yeah, when it annoys me when people say, hey, how much is gonna go? Really? I have been in this UK, and after checking everywhere, shaking everything inside the house, I had 99p. And I had to go and beg somebody for 1 penny to add to 99p, so I could buy a can of beans, because there was nothing in my house to eat. In this UK. So then you now manage to give somebody. You now manage to give somebody £5 or £10, and I'm what is this?
So we have to understand that what we are doing here, we are not doing this to say that, oh, Africans are not good, Nigerians are, but we are doing to educate ourselves. The little things that many of us have learned is what we, and I'm saying that the people that are not feeling what they are doing in Nigeria, Africa with this video are the people who are literally not living there. Majority who are living there are as clueless as themselves. Everybody is behaving the same way, including the politicians. They are behaving the same way. That's why I can't blame them. I can't exonerate the politician, or I can't exonerate the people and say, oh, the politicians are treating you bad. No, they all behave
the same.
MAD. Do you know what I mean? Everybody behave the same. So when we want to change, it starts with us. It's the citizens that become politicians in the future.
Exactly.
Do you understand what I mean? It's the citizens. So when we as citizens, we can't understand, we can't empathize, we can't reason. Let's start with it. Checking everybody. You see somebody doing something to another child that you don't know. Be your brother's keeper. Always check. What is this? Why are you doing this? It's not about the job. It's about knowing that, the duty, if I don't look after this child, that is not my child today, it could degenerate to another child in the future.
Exactly.
This thing you just said, a video was sent just about an hour before I went to sleep. And it was a man who was in a hotel, and he saw two children. Well, they most likely maybe they're in GS2, GS3 max. In a hotel, they were trying to check in. And he was like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
What? At your age, 2 girls and 4 boys. Come on with it. But I wish that he had actually gotten them detained until their parents came.
That's the community that we're supposed to. That's our community.
Again, how can a hotel? How can a hotel want to let 2 girls and 4 boys lodge? To do what?
Exactly. The hotel should have been questioning them first. And that's why it's very sickening to me. Like Abby was saying, it's supposed to be it takes a village, right? That's what they say.
Yeah, it takes a village. Yes.
And now that our whole lives are on social media, this girl that brought on this topic, we should be protecting her. We should not be circulating her videos, circulating her.
But do you know? But do you know? But do you know that this video is not the only thing that our people circulate? Have you seen that somebody is dying in the hospital and the first thing that they do is to take picture and send the body? Have you seen that? So we are going ballistic. Like our brain is going upside down. The people that create
I'm sorry. See, it keeps coming back and around, because here in the UK, if you have anything that can be called child porn on your phone, you're dead.
But
and it can be traced. Too. Nobody has to even report you. It can be traced. Now in Nigeria, again, when there's no even electricity, there's no even kidnappers work hand in hand with telecommunication people to get the numbers of who they're going to go and kidnap and all that. Where do we even start from?
No, so let me now say this. Now I'm good you use that example. Kidnappers these people, they are humans. They lack simply empathy. And God forbid, all these people at the end of the day, while we are sleeping, while we are not talking, while we are still blaming somebody and all of that, everybody don't want to take the blame. The mother that came out to say that, oh, my child, something happened to my child, they did this to my child, not looking at the handwriting on the wall. You know what? We all are flawed. Right. We all, the school, the society, the parents, every one of us. So rather than coming to carry, they did this to me, let's sit down. Madam, what do you know about your child? Let's have a conversation. All of us, we've sinned. Okay? All of us. Nobody, if you tell me some people are posh, they said they have sinned from when they were born. Good luck. A lot of damages. But the thing is, when we now start admitting that all of us is flawed, okay, let me tell you something that happened to me in Nigeria. Now, I know I always talk about this integrity, be good, and all of that. Let me tell you something that happened to me in Nigeria. I was about to fly from Abuja to Lagos. My flight was already booked and all of that. And I got to the airport late. And then I saw these 2 guys, and they're like, madam, we can magically make you get to the right queue at the right time. I can never forget it because I still feel guilty about it, but I can't forget it. But I enjoyed it. You see, this is how it is. If you are a friend to a politician, for instance, So this person now said to me, "Oh, madam, let's do this magic so you can jump the queue." Okay, I jumped the queue. I gave these people like dash or whatever, but I joined the queue. I jumped the queue and I got to where I was going. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. But you know, when I got home, I started feeling so guilty about it. What's the big deal? Yeah, there's a big deal because you jumped the queue. And that is how we all enjoyed in this thing. Unless we are not benefiting from it, then we talk. So until we start seeing everything wrong in our action, we cannot move forward as a nation. We cannot move forward as a nation. And I know someone is going to justify what I did and say, no, you didn't do anything wrong. I did something wrong because I jumped the queue.
Yeah, but let me just cut in there. Another thing I found out that I used to tell people is just about discipline. I won't lie about it. Sometimes we need to be true to ourselves. The worst thing you can do to yourself. We Nigerians, honestly, I need to tell you, we are not disciplined. Candy, you're overseas. Happy, all of us, we're overseas. And like I was telling somebody some days ago, I said, look, these people that we live with here, Ron can be with. I said, these people don't do anything extraordinary, but they're living good. Like what you're saying, you cannot find child porn on your because automatically people can track it and you can get arrested. These people are doing nothing extraordinary. They are not better. They are just being disciplined. And why I was saying this is, let me just give an example. The traffic light wasn't working. Okay, so when it doesn't work, when you get there to a force-way intersection, you wait for who gets there first will go first. You know what I mean? Just turn by turn. And you see, there was no roadblock. There was nobody colliding. Everybody, you get there. This one get there first, you go. The other one get there later, you go. And there was no traffic officer. The robot was, and everything was moving smoothly. And my friend said, if this thing is in Lagos, there will be a commotion in this place. Then I start beginning to say that we are not disciplined where I come from. Like what you did that in the airport, you were wrong what you did. I know you wanted to catch a flight, but to be true to yourself, you are not disciplined. Would you do that where you are? Will you do that where you are now?
That's what I'm saying. See, that's what I'm saying. But I am saying this because I want to come out to say that, I am also part of the thing that I'm condemning. And that's how we all do if this is in our favor. Okay? So if I am related to Buhari now, if I'm related to Buhari now, I am not going to see anything wrong in what Buhari is doing. Do you know what I mean? But the only reason I complain is because I'm not related to him. So I'm saying majority of the people that you're talking about that are driving whatever they're driving here or wherever you are in South Africa, and they're not doing, they're following that rule. They're not following the rule because they have listened though. Because that's why majority of them, when they go back there, they still go and do the same thing that they are not doing wherever they are living. So I'm saying that the change that we need.
Abby, this thing that you're saying reminds me of when I went back to Nigeria for the first time since I came here. The first and only time, because I've never been back. When we were at Manchester Airport, we queued up. Everything was great. We got to Charles de Gaulle. We queued up. Everything was great. We all stayed in our line. We stood quietly. Everybody was standing in the space. When they tell you to move, you move. When they tell you to stay, you stay. Sometimes it's only a sign. You stand by the sign. They come and tell you, okay, move. We got to Mauritania. In fact, as soon as we entered Nigeria atmosphere, people started to stand up, started running and they're like, no, everybody should go and sit down. Wait for the plane to land. For where? They had to physically go and tell people, please, can you go and sit down? And then as soon as the plane landed, it was pandemonium. I was like, are these the same people that queued up in Manchester and queued up in Charles de Gaulle?
You get it now.
They entered Lagos Mauritania Airport, they went mad.
So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that majority of us here.
You're still speaking English. They're still speaking. I was one of the very last people to come out of the airport. My family were even wondering if I was still on the plane because they were wondering what happened to me because everybody was just. So I just stood away. I was like, I beg, let them carry
So
their wallet.
so that's what I am saying. That, and then you that you're now waiting behind, they look at you like you're not doing the right thing. So at the end of the day, it's not about the change that we display or we talk about. It's the change that we do when no one is watching us. It's the change that we do behind closed doors. So it's good for us. We can all come here and be sanctimonious about this whole thing. The parents should be doing this. This is what the school's supposed to do. When we have opportunity to react. Do you understand? When we have opportunity to do this thing, like flesh to flesh, you are seeing somebody. How do we react to things? How do we do these things? Are we looking like it's not our business, or are we trying to make sure that we are, I rode on Uber a couple of times when I was in Nigeria, and I saw a lot of drivers that are driving. They have the tendency to rob, honestly, to become criminals. And I had to use my time of travel to it's like me doing motivational speaking. Oh, this Nigeria is so horrible. This Nigeria is so horrible. The way they are talking. And I'm like, what do you do before? Oh, I was in a business before, everything collapsed. And I said, well, now you're making money. You have to look at the bright side. The money you're making now, you can save up, you can do. I have to keep doing all of those talking. But I could read this person's mind because in their mind, they are failures. And I don't know what they're telling them in their house. I don't know what their wives or their mothers or their people are telling them. Failure is not the end of the world. It means that you get something wrong and you get up again.
Many of us have fallen and we've gotten up again.
Exactly.
And it
so
was not
looking at people
because it was convenient. We didn't get up because it was easy. We didn't get up because, it's just one of them things. It was bloody hard. It was painful as fuck, but we got up anyway.
So that's what we need to keep encouraging. And even when people were like, oh, I want to come and pick you up, I want to do this, I'll be like, I'm enjoying this engagement with these Uber drivers. And it's not funny because that's not what I went there to do. But I took my time to say that. Each time they had opportunity to say that, oh, so what are you doing? I don't treat them like some kind of, oh yeah, you're just a Uber driver. I try to any opportunity that we have to educate ourselves, we should keep doing the right thing and keep encouraging people. So that's why I'm saying that let's cut some slack for these people in Nigeria. Honestly, what they are doing is clueless.
Abby, I agree. And you said something about being sanctimonious. We're not being sanctimonious. No. When it comes to children, No.
I'm just being generalistic about it. I don't mean like us. But
what I'm saying is that apart from us here, I don't think any one of us here will see a child at risk and look away. But there are many people in Nigeria. There are many people in Nigeria who will not look away if a child is under duress.
Yes,
and they're speaking out. But you see, the problem is, okay. While we were talking, I just quickly looked at my social media, and just said, according to Islam, once a girl has her period, she is a woman. So all this thing of saying she's
have you blocked the person, or are you still waiting?
No, it was on someone else. I don't have crazy. I'm very particular about who I have as friends on my social media. No, I don't have
anyone that anyone that
but the thing is that
whole thing about ignorance, right? I think there's something as ignorance and there's something as willful ignorance. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Because you can, let's say you didn't realize, but people are telling you why this thing is wrong. Well, and you still double down. You double down saying, oh, this, that. That is just willful ignorance. That is unwilling to learn. That is
By the way, Ron has not said anything all along.
I know. Ron.
In fact, I've been looking at him since that.
Let it not be that it will explode when we finish. You guys now allow me to talk. Mr. Ron, okay, over to you.
All of us
Finally, somebody noticed. I didn't even know I was here. Finally, people noticed. I was checking if I was in.
Can you play your music and let's know that you are going to talk?
He has already played it, or he did canon everything. I play it again, so we know that you are here. Play it again.
Yeah.
Play that music.
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
Okay. But run. Before you talk, let's give you caveat.
Did you guys see that? Run express.
Run.
You are all welcome to another segment of Ron Explains.
We beg you. We are giving you caveat. Be sensitive in whatever you are going to talk about.
Oh my
Thank
God,
you.
my light and lie. You are not okay. You know that's right. Okay. Explanator.
I've been taking notes. I've been listening to what everybody's saying. And,
I just hope he's not going to say something that's sending me around the bend.
The whole concept of this for us to always somebody's listening.
Mr. H is usually
Mr. H. Let me. I've muted him. Yeah,
okay.
We're fine now. So the whole, I always say something. The whole objective of the show is to get solutions. If the show is on and we all come crying and complaining and all these things, personally, I see solutions to a lot of these problems. But the question is, are we ready? Are we ready to do the hard work? We can sit here every episode, we can maintain this topic for 10 years and we still arrive at the same conclusion because we have not provided any solution whatsoever. And we are still repeating the same mistakes that led to these problems in the first place. Right? We can say that maybe urbanization and maybe the change of lifestyle, the way we look at children and all that. But let me take it from how. Now, morals is morals. We cannot choose and select what is moral, what is morally acceptable, and we cannot select what is moral. It's either we take it as a package or we just leave it. We cannot select and expect positive results. And this is why we find ourselves in the situation where when we try to say things. Now, where's Abby? I want to address the teacher's responsibility here. When she said the teacher was supposed to,
I'm here.
Yeah. Now, there's something we need to understand. I know some of the ladies have chimed in on it and all that. Let's get something right. The whole concept of school was just for education. It is our jobs as parents to nurture our children. Okay? I know that we have become too urbanized now that we don't even have time. And one of the major reasons why these tragic things happen is because we are seeing a trend whereby father and mother no longer have that time our parents had. That time is going. Time is currency. We are losing it. Sometimes it might be for reasonable reasons. Sometimes it might just be for the fun of doing it. You know why I'm talking about time? I was listening to the mother's interview. Guess what? Do you know that video was in circulation for 2 bloody days? The mom did not even know about it. 2 days, 48 hours. The mother didn't know about the video. Every other parent in that school knew about the video. And she even confessed in the video that she's so busy, she doesn't. Now, this is what's even tragic about it. We're not talking about a dumb girl. That girl was a brilliant girl. She went on an excursion to go represent Chrisland in Dubai. Let that sink in for a moment. We're not talking about a truant, we're not talking about a dumb child or anything. This is a smart girl, right? Then the school organizes such an excursion without any chaperone. You dump preteens in a hotel. Who does that? You dump preteens at a hotel in Dubai. And I don't see anybody even talking about it because it's a rich folk school. And that's why people, when we talk about it, they just bounce over it as if
No, I've
it's
seen people talking about the lack of chaperone. But the problem is like I don't know. This is the first time I'm hearing about this school, right? So I don't know what kind of reputation they have, whatever. I don't know anything about the school, but
no,
it
no.
seems
You know what?
it's also no.
You know
I just
what?
want to say something real quick, Ron.
Wait,
You're right.
Ron, hold on.
I'm agreeing with you, but I just want to say is that it's one of those things that I also kind of wrote about a whole different topic. That once something is popular or famous, or like you said, a rich people's school, we can't say anything negative about it. We can't because people have been saying that about the lack of chaperone, and people are shutting them down. That who takes children out somewhere and there are no chaperones? Like this. Sorry, I just had to.
For those who are watching and don't understand,
I'm sitting at home doing what? We are going together.
I'm coming. Wait, I'm coming. I was telling Abby before the show started that sex tape is not even the issue. Before the show started, I saw other videos on social media where the girl was, parading herself. Like when Abby said that she has been damaged, and I'm like, this thing didn't just start today. There were signs and symptoms going on the whole time, and still the parents did not know. Let me make something clear to you. 13 years ago, I went to see a friend. Now, the parents were not enlightened. When I say enlightened, we call them money misroad. Like, these people, not too educated, not enlightened, but they are rich. But they have money. Now, you know what they do? They allow their kids to sit down and watch cartoons, right? They don't know what the cartoons are about, nothing. But the joy that the fact that they can put a big screen and their kids will just sit down and be watching it. So I came to the house one day and I was just observing. They finished watching, what's the name of that adult cartoon again? Not Family Man. South Park.
Oh my God.
The children were watching South Park. I was like, what the French toast? What are you doing? South Park is an adult content.
Doesn't mean it's for a child.
Wait. Okay, I think I know about it. They did one where the guy that sang, he's a Jehovah's Witness, and they did a parody of him, and he was very angry. Isaacs.
Yes.
Isaac. Okay, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
So it's an adult content now, because the parents didn't have the capacity to understand what they are watching. They just every time, it gives them joy that they are raising the first generation of kids that is watching cartoons without any supervision. And I had to sit them down. I had to take it upon myself to educate them. And like, listen, there are certain cartoons you cannot allow your kids to watch. For instance, in my house, there's this, sorry, not my house. There's this cartoon, what's the name? Code name Kids Next Door. It was on Cartoon Network for many years. And many parents allowed their kids to watch it. If you actually pay attention to the cartoon, you understand that Kids Next Door, they act like secret agents. They are kids that pretend like they are secret agents and all that. Now, if you actually calm down and focus on the content of the cartoon, you see that what this cartoon is teaching children is rebellion against adults. I'm not going to do chores. I'm not going to do this. Just pure rebellion, and things like that. Why am I saying this? The job of parenting is more difficult today than ever. Before, parents used to have assistant parenting system, whereby even if the mom is not around, her sister who is living with you can supervise. There was always a delegated function. Now, nothing like that. We live in isolation. So what happens to your kid is my house. While we were growing up, if we misbehave, my parents, Candy, you were saying something about fear and children. See, until a child turns 18, in order to enforce discipline, a certain dosage of fear is required. Let me repeat myself. In order to enforce discipline, a certain dosage of fear is required. Then I'll use myself as an example. While growing up, anytime my father would just speak once, the first time, second time, if you repeat it the third time, he's going to spank you, right? So over time, we understood that, okay, The warning is just for us to avoid this problem. But guess what? Every night after dinner, we gather and gossip as a family unit. We can discuss anything we like with our parents. We talk. In fact, that's what saved us as children. Like, we can discuss anything. Even they encourage us to tell them anything, and we did it with love. Till this day, we still gossip. Like, we can just come together, and till this day, I'm talking, we gossip. But that did not take the fact that they enforced discipline when it was necessary.
Yeah, but discipline.
When you start raising kids,
fear, though. Like, sometimes all I have to do is give Kennedy a look, and she knows she's not supposed to do something. But it's not fear. She just knows that if she does this thing, she's gonna get in trouble with mommy. But that doesn't mean she's fearful.
What is trouble?
Huh?
Sorry, no, I'm not talking about you. I just explained
I'm saying
I had a fear.
She's explaining to you. Listen.
This is not the kind of fear we're talking about. This is not fear.
Okay. Let me. Like in my own case, just like Kennedy, I was afraid of that trouble that would come if I kept repeating that thing I was not supposed to do.
Right.
But I was not afraid of my parents.
Exactly.
We would gist every dinner. You get what I'm saying?
So we're not. It's discipline, not fear. It's discipline.
Yeah.
Not fear. You understand? You are disciplined enough to know that if you do something against your parents, or whatever, you will get in trouble. You were disciplined enough, but you were not afraid of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you were not afraid that you couldn't see their presence.
This is what they were doing. It was a system. You spank with the left hand, then bring the child very close to the right hand and explain it to him. I told you, do not do this. If you repeat it again, this is the consequence of your action. Children need to understand. It's dangerous when you just say, okay, a child is a repeated offender, and you say, because of what people say, then you just allow the child. You remove you see, I don't want to conflate the difference between respecting a person and fear, because I don't want people to swing with it the wrong way. But I think we'll discuss it another day. Then the next one is, okay, I spoke about parents' responsibility. You should know your child. You should always, just like my parents, I speak about my parents. My parents always encouraged us to talk. We always talk. We gist. Till this day, we still gist. It's very important. I try to imbibe that culture of my children so that anything they say, in fact, when I hear them using a new vocabulary, I make a big deal out of it just for them to be happy enough and comfortable to always come to me and say things. But they know that there are lines they shouldn't cross. So let's strike a balance somehow. I think a balance is fair. Then social media. I don't know what to say. This I think this is in almost every home. Every home where you give your child a phone that is unsupervised and unprotected. You see, we look at children as a species of creature that don't know anything. These kids are smart. Some of these kids know the phone better than you who owns it. They know how to operate it. I remember one time my wife or somebody locked her phone. She was trying to open it. She couldn't get access. It was the child that opened it now. Phone where you they use. That your own child that taught you how to access it. I'm just trying to tell you that if they are that smart, you should also be conscious of the fact that they can go beyond what you think they are watching and start watching other things. We are all making noise down. Most of these things that have happened that we see, let me be honest with you, it happened during my time in secondary school. I saw it in primary school, secondary school. The first time I heard about anything porn, or it was inside class in primary school that heard it among girls.
Ron, can I say something? You know, like when I said something about age appropriate way of sharing information, like my 10-year-old, I have something on my phone that I have to then look into, like if she wants to download any app, we have to have collective, so not just me, our sisters and all that, they will sit down to see, is this app also child friendly? Because me, I'm looking at the app and they're saying child, but they will look at it and be like, no, this one is just saying child, but it's not really child. I don't know if that makes sense. So
Where's
that's
your
when I
face?
will now
Where's your
accept
face?
It's
because
more.
I'm eating
I
now.
don't think.
I know. I want to know
Yeah.
whether you're serious or you're trolling me.
No, but
Okay,
I'm
I
just saying
continue.
that. So I have that app on my phone. No, see, we all can. How will I say? We don't have that 100% parenting whatever. We can't know it
No,
all.
no, no.
We keep learning from
I
each other
agree with you.
every single day. So I just need to
I
stress
agree
that.
with you. Now, let me tell you, Happy and Candy, something. Have you ever considered that maybe, just maybe, that you people were fortunate to have obedient good kids that will listen to your instruction while you're not there? Have you ever thought about it and said, maybe you were fortunate to have kids like that? Have you considered it?
Wait,
That
what?
I don't get that question.
Yeah, I don't.
Have you ever sat down to consider that, maybe I was blessed or fortunate to have obedient kids who listen to strong advice from me or strong warnings? You know, all kids are not like your kids.
Yeah, I
Yes.
agree. I agree with you. And that's why sometimes we have to cut some people some slack because every child is not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Then secondly, even as adults, as we are now, I want to appeal to everybody. Yeah, I know that sometimes we want to sound liberated and all that. Let's be careful the kind of things we say is okay and it's not okay. For instance, let me use Kim Kardashian for example. It's an extreme example, but I'll bring it down a little bit. Just a few days ago, she was crying because her child saw discuss the sex tape that shot her into limelight. So she was really depressed and crying, and she had to even call Kanye that they are fighting with to discuss it. And a lot of people were laughing at her, like, this is what we know you for now. This is what shot you into limelight. Why are you all of a sudden being concerned about your past? And I was just thinking, I was like, this is a general human error. Everybody, when they are young, they are usually foolish and do dumb
Something
things. They don't
stupid.
think about. Yeah, you do something foolish and dumb without thinking about the consequence. And the reason why people always do it is because we have created a society where we tell people that everything is okay as long as you're not hurting the next person. Hey, do what you do, it doesn't matter. Then the person rides on with it and do it. We need moral. We need morals. You don't have to be religious to have morals. We need morals. We need morals. And I was saying this about, was it last week or 2 episodes ago, Abby, when I was discussing dress code and when I was trying to say that dress appropriately to minimize the danger of certain things happening. That was silly. I said it, and even though some people thanked me after the show for emphasizing it, but let me explain because I noticed some people didn't understand where I was coming from. If you walk somewhere and you have to pass an alley, a dark alley every night, right? Alone, I think common sense dictates that you have to be appropriately dressed to minimize your chances of violence. Am I wrong?
I beg to
Am I
disagree.
wrong?
Well,
Okay.
I mean, if you know that
Women have been dressed
people,
in long, have been wearing pants
No,
and
that's not what I'm saying.
in dark alleys.
I knew you were going there. I knew you were
no,
going there.
if you know
But
that
there's
there are
something
crazy people there who do not have any morals, they don't care whether whatever, you know that in fact, don't even take the place now. Is it by force?
Exactly.
good. Now, Candy, there's something you need to understand. In as much as we try, we cannot impose our morals on every single human being we see. We can't. Some people were not raised properly. Some people said they are not screw tight. Why would I endanger myself and expose myself to those kind of human beings when I can do better?
What I'm saying is that you wearing a mini skirt is not guaranteed that you're gonna get raped rather than
No,
someone else who's not wearing a
I
mini
said
skirt.
it's. I said no. I didn't say guarantee. I didn't
This
say
is a
guarantee.
particular context.
I didn't use the word guarantee. I said it minimizes the chances of you getting into trouble. I've seen people rape 70-something-year-old women. I've seen people rape Arab women in full burqa and hijab, everything. I've seen it before. But those are sick patients. Those are psychiatric patients. Those are not normal human beings. Now I'm talking about normal people who wait for time and chance to commit crime.
A person who's normal is not raping people.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. There's something wrong,
Okay, let me
fundamentally
tell you what
wrong
happened in
with
South Africa
people
last year.
raping people. There's nothing
Okay,
normal.
let me tell you what happened.
Thank you. Thank you,
Mr.
Candy.
H. Wait.
There's nothing
Wait, hold on.
normal about
Mr. H, please. Let me tell you this story. Wait, listen to this story. Mr. H, please corroborate what I'm just about to tell now. Last year, a very beautiful girl was raped in a post office. In a post office, South Africa. She went to the post office to go and get her parcel, right? The guy in the post office, because there was nobody there, caught her and raped her. I think she died after the rape, or did she die on the spot? But anyway, she died from rape.
what kind of hey God.
After raping, he killed her, right? Killed her, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying not to mess up the story. So all the movements came out and started shouting and crying and all that. We were all saddened in the country. Few days later, it turns out that she's an Instagram model girl who wears. Let's respect the dead. Now, guess what? This guy, this sicko, has been following her on Instagram all this time. He has been monitoring and following and stalking on it. He has not communicated with her, but he has been monitoring her on Instagram, how she dresses, and let's not go into details. So when she came into the post office is the most inappropriate place for any human being, sane or insane, to have sex. Right? But he saw it as one in a lifetime opportunity. And this one will not pass me, and he committed the crime. Now we are not just.
And it's the girl's fault because she had an Instagram presence.
No, he's not.
Candy,
I don't.
Candy, let's get something right. Well,
you're not claiming that he's a girl's
that's not what
fault,
I said. Candy, we need to get something right. Candy, let's get something right. If every woman wants to start going that direction, wants to start going this direction you're going without addressing fundamental issues, these things will never ever. This thing we are discussing. Since I was a child, it has been in discussion. Till today, we are still discussing it.
Why don't
because
we just have better boys? Why don't we just bring up better boys who become better men?
Abby, I just explained to you that we cannot impose and enforce morals on everybody. I just said it now.
You're trying to impose.
But you can impose and whatever to the women. You can impose the way of dressing to the women, but you can't impose morals to the men.
Yeah.
Wow.
Should I shock you? Should I shock you? Do you know that this country has the best law? The best law.
I'm sorry. I'm taking some medications. I'm not here. I'm not here now.
Don't worry. We'll get to this. Mr. H, please confirm this thing I want to tell them. South Africa has the best law for anti-rape, anti-molestation, anti-harassment. Like when I say best law, it's so good that if you offend a girl, you can be in jail for rape, even when you did not commit rape. I'm just telling you how good the law is. All she has to do is rape, and that's it. Oh, Marie, no further questions. You are going straight to jail. This is this country, and yet these silly, dastardly crimes still occur. Does that not tell you that these people don't even care about the consequences? They don't care. They're still going to do it anyways. So if we have people,
they don't care what you're wearing.
I'm coming. Wait, I'm coming. If these people are not willing and they don't care, I have daughters, right? And I'm already telling them, like, please, this is how you be. When you leave my house, you can be an adult and do whatever it is you like. But while you're under my roof, right, we are going to do things in a certain. We are going to move in a certain way.
How old are the children that you're telling this to? Sorry.
No, I said that my children, they're little, right?
As they are growing up. Yeah, no.
As they turn 18, they are going to move in the direction their mother and myself.
I know, but I said, have you started telling them this?
No, for sure. Like as a father, once they dress up and I see that the clothing is too small, I tell the mom, please listen. She'll be like, okay, yeah, you're right. You change. Even though they are kids, they're little toddlers, they don't know anything. But I start it now so that we don't have problems in future. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I get
Now, the last thing I want to say, the last thing I want to say, in the complex I used to live in 8 years ago, there was this girl. She was 13 or 12 years old. She's taller than you, Happy. That girl is taller, plump, overdeveloped. Like, you need to see this girl, 13 years old. You're like, she's as if she wants to serve everybody milk or whatever. She's that big. She's huge. Yeah. Now, guess what? Every day she wears skimpy dresses out in the afternoon. So, like,
she's a child.
Who's the mother of this child? I wait now.
Who's the mother
That's
of the
something I'm
child?
telling you.
What about the father of
So
the
every day I dress up and I see her, and people were scared of the child, right?
Let us agree
So
that
guess
only
what?
more
Every
than
time I
give birth
dress,
to children by themselves. Please.
when I finish now.
Finish.
So every time I drive and I see this child, you know, the whole complex, they were scared of the mom, so nobody ever met her to speak with her. So one day, I was just having a bad day. So unfortunately for them, I was parking and the mom was there. The two of them were together. She was just pulling the daughter. I asked her, I said, "Do you always see your child when she comes out dressed like this in a complex like this? Do you think this is appropriate?" He said, "No, she's just 13. Yes, we know she's 13, but this is not a body of a 13-year-old. Don't you think you should start protecting her?" She said, "No, this is..." So everybody in the complex came out and said, "You know what? They've been trying to say it, but nobody has been bold." We had this argument around June. We had this argument around June. The next year, January, there was a case of molestation of that same child by somebody in the complex. Not even near where we had the argument. The mom was the first person to call. She cried to me and said, "See what happened?" I said, "Listen."
And of course, you would have said, "Shebi, we told you." Isn't it, Ron?
You want to... Abby, we are serious now. You say you want me to be sensitive, right? You say you want me to be sensitive, right?
Yes, it all comes.
I'm trying to protect women's honor.
No, you see, you're not protecting. What you're doing, you're not protecting. What you're doing. Now, if what you have said now, you have talked about the main part of it, then I will know that, okay, you're talking to a woman and you're talking to men. Exactly. But all you've been saying so far is what the kind of dressing, right? Yeah. What do you say to those people that you have... Wait now, those people that you have said that... Okay. The people that you've said that, okay, these ones, let's agree that they're not going to hear and all of that. What have you got to say to them? Let's say they're watching this movie, this whatever that we're doing now, they're watching it. What are you saying to them? You're saying to them that it's okay to be mad, right? They are okay to be mad, but the women know it's you that I want to talk to and all of that. And this is the society that we are living in, where people, they and you know, story is that thing must have happened.
Forever. 20 years down the line, we'll still be discussing this because people chose not to discuss it. It's a very serious problem. You can't have somebody develop like that. It's like you are sending somebody to the den of wolves. We cannot control perverts. Perverts exist. All the laws that have been thrown in, perverts still exist. It has not deterred them, and there are still perverts that are listening to us. They are still planning to commit more crime. That is what I'm explaining to you.
So what are you saying to those? Wait now, what are we saying to those perverts today? After these women should wear normal clothes, what do you say to them?
Are you of the opinion that you can negotiate with perverts?
No, I'm saying that if a pervert is watching, today, what are you going to say to that pervert? Mr.
Don't be a pervert.
Help me here. No, continue being a pervert.
That's what I just said. Don't be a pervert. No, wait, hold on.
But the way that you have said it.
Wait, hold on. Abby, let's be logical here. Perverts, don't be a pervert. Are perverts going to listen to me? No! This is where I'm trying to get to the bottom of. We need to protect ourselves. We cannot say because government says we are safe that we should walk and do whatever we like. we still need, we have a responsibility to add a layer of security over our lives. This is what I'm preaching. I'm not encouraging anybody. I'm just saying that there must be a level of protection from our own end. It's that simple. Everybody is in danger of everything. We wake up every day, we follow a particular part of road because we know that we are safe and walk through there. But life is not safe. There are people that are just bad. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change them. All the laws South Africa has, these things still happen. So what do we do? Do we say because we've told them not, don't do it, they won't do it. They'll still do it. Guess what? They'll do it. But I'm preaching that we need to minimize the what's the word I used the first time? We need to minimize the chances of these things occurring. And you know who these perverts are? They don't write it on the forehead. They're usually the nice guys in society, the good people, the people doing community work, the people that everybody loves, the people that they think they have their heads screwed until you hear that this is what they did. They don't write it. You can't label them. So I'm just preaching that parents should put an extra layer of security on their children. That's my message. Perverts will not listen to us. We can preach from now to tomorrow. They are not listening to us. I've been hearing these stories since when I was a child. Till this day, they are still doing it. So that's where I'm going to with this. I'm not encouraging anybody. Please, nobody should twist what I said. I'm not encouraging anybody. But we need to protect. Then lastly, the school actually expelled the girl. And some people got angry that they expelled the girl from the school. My question is, how do you expect that girl to function normally in that environment again? After all these scandals, after revealing her face, after putting her through all sorts of ridicule and shame, you still expect her. Remember what I said? I said the school has been sharing that video for 48 hours before the mother even knew what was going on.
Why did they share that video?
Can she still
Why did they share the video?
The students were sharing it.
Oh, okay.
Students were sharing it, then their parents saw it.
How did they get the recording?
The mother... Okay, let me explain what happened because I noticed nobody touched it. They were in the hotel. I think she was sleeping with a 12-year-old. She's 11 and the boy is like 12 or 13. They are students. They went to represent their school. So from what I heard, they said that there were other boys in the room. The girl was sleeping with the boy. And they recorded it. There was no violence. There's no basketballs or anything from what I heard. Now, the video, one of the students recorded it, shared it to another student. I trust children now. CIA. They shared it around. So one parent found it with the child and saw it. And this is how other parents knew about it. So the school invited the mom of the girl, and were trying to calm her down. They found out
did they do something to the boy?
So nothing has been mentioned about it, but I heard Lagos State has shut down the school.
Exactly. Did they expel the boy?
I'm sure they did, but I didn't read it. But
they didn't do it. They didn't.
But now why? Why is Lagos State
involved?
Why are they shutting down? Because you always do this. It's hypocrite. Wait, hold
on. This is rich. Mr. H, this is rich people's problem, and this is
where the problem is. That is where the problem.
Something like this happens.
When we begin to see each other as equal in a community or a society, that's when things begin to work fine. Each one is.
That's the problem.
Mr. H, that school is notorious. That school is notorious for all kinds of things.
The school is
very notorious school. No, this one is even in the MPGC. This one is even in Lekki.
It's not the first time that school has been flagged up for being stupid or doing something.
The same spirit is following the school. The same spirit is following the school. That school is... This is not the first time. I'm sure if I Google now, see all the offenses and all the scandals in that school. And yet parents pay millions to send their children to these schools. The mother does not... You know that from the interview, if you listen to the mother's interview, she doesn't even know her daughter. Like, When you listen to that interview, you'll be very shocked. She doesn't know her daughter. And anyway, you send your child to Dubai, no chaperone, no supervision, nothing. They enter hotel, they're going to live like adults. Well.
Where is the father in all of this?
No.
Because I'm getting really pissed off with the mother.
It's only the mother.
Where is the father in all of this?
Mother. She's the one that down.
Because you people are the same people who will say that if a woman trains up a child without the father, what it. And yet, when you want to come and start fighting about anything, it is the mother you'll be happy on, and the father goes scot-free. And yet you'll be the same people who will be saying that if a father is not in the picture, there's something. So
the father is at home now.
You want the father there, you don't want him.
We don't even know if they are together now. Nobody has revealed their marital status.
They are together. They are together.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Me, I've read.
I don't know.
They are together.
But okay, so let's go with Abby's word. But let's be realistic here. When it comes to in a complete family like that, when it comes to these kind of issues, it first comes to the mom's office before it gets to the dad.
I don't understand
right?
this. 1 minute, the men are, if a father is not there, the father brings control, he brings and then as soon as something happens, it's to the mother's table. Please, then what is the value of the man that you people are shouting up and down? What is the value?
Abby,
no value.
Abby,
no value.
Abby, in most families, when it comes to sex education, most parents usually allow for the mothers to take care of the girls and the fathers to take care of the boys.
Why? Oh, okay. Okay.
But why?
It's just,
who knows the mind of a stupid boy more than the father? Who knows the mind of a boy, a silly boy, more than the father?
But you see, as they grow older, you see their attachments, and just like Abby said, everything is released in bits. Information is released in segments. You can't just like that. You discuss sex. After discussing sex, you now start discussing psychology of relationships. It's all in stages. So,
fathers who are listening, please don't leave it to the office of your wives. Get involved in your children's lives. Don't leave it to any office of your wife.
I'm handsome.
Let your child be free enough to come and talk
I'm very
to you.
handsome.
The same way she can go and talk to her mother.
Exactly, because they will feel comfortable with either parents. Depending on the issue, they might want to talk to their father. They might want to talk to their.
I think in all this, I think the best approach is whatever you people go through during the day, there should be always a family time in the evening. Television, where one of my uncles kept telling me, he said the first thing that is divided the family was television, now is internet and gadgets. He said before, when the family eats during dinner, they'll sit around, they'll talk, discuss. But now, immediately after food, you'll first go and watch TV. After TV, you'll carry your tablet, your phone.
One of the few things I love the father for. There was no TV to watch.
They have changed now. They have changed now.
When we were growing up, we didn't have TV to watch, so we had to sit around and talk with our parents, whether we liked it or not. There was no TV now.
Boy, please, parents. I don't know. I know it's difficult. I know parents are busy for real reasons. I know that it's true that parents are actually very, very busy for economic reasons.
Who are you busy for? Who are you busy for? Isn't it these children?
No, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. I just want to give a general advice. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I know that there are children as early as 3 months, they start going to breast. So there's already a disconnect between mother and child from that early age because she has to go to work. And I'm not talking about single moms. I'm talking about married women in married setting. Because you have to go to work, you drop your 3-month-old newborn baby at the creche and you go to work. And already from that beginning, we can already see that you are not the one training your child. It's outsiders. You come back 6 p.m., 7 p.m., you come and collect your child like a package and all that. There's no relationship built in that system, and it's not going to help anybody. And it keeps creating the divides and separation of nurture between mother and child or father and child, depend as the case may be. It's not ideal, and that's why we're also losing our languages and all that, because we don't deal with the picking all the time. So what our advice is that no matter what happens, even if you have just 1 hour, there should be a family time where everybody can be free to come gather, gist. Even if you don't have gossip or anything, just tell stories, crack a few jokes, tell them about your childhood, problems you have. Because my dad did that a lot. He always tell us about problems he had as a child and how he navigated around those problems. So sometimes we laughed, sometimes we picked a lesson or two from what he was trying to pass on to us, because at the end of the day, those are some of the things that shaped us. We learned. Like I keep saying, I'm the type who learns from people's mistakes. I don't like being the one. I don't like learning from my own mistakes. I like learning from people, then avoid the problem. So that's what I have to say. Parents should do better. We need to do more. I know the society is getting crazier and crazier. The demands is crazier and crazier. But at the end of the day, these are our children. If we do well with them, we enjoy them in future. Do badly with them.
Yeah, like Ron said.
Okay, I want to quickly read the comments. Then I will let Mr. H speak, and then we will close. So, Dwale, how come you didn't join us now? He said, let everyone in the panel share best practices for good parenting. Thank you, which we did. Nana K said, perverts vomit, that women should cover up to deter them. People should wear whatever they want to wear. Then she said, there's no protection. Perpetrators are always people close to you, or even worse, family members. There's no minimizing. People are just sick. Putting layers will not stop them. How do Muslim women get raped? Are they not protected? And then she had this yeah, tell me. And then she said, thank you, Mr. H. So these comments have been coming in for a while. Then she said, ask them, or Abby. I don't even know what the question was, but she said, ask them, or Abby. Then she said, father should be to boy or girl. Yeah, so which is what I was saying. Yeah, and then she gave a round of applause for somebody there. So basically, I'll let Mr. H speak, and then because I'm getting a bit.
Yeah, what I wanted to say,
so Mr. H, yes.
Yeah, as Ron has rightly said, as everybody has said, as Candy has said, and Happy and everybody, it's we as the parents should be in the front line, on everything, because we need to really monitor our children, and I've learned something today too, because every day we learn from Candy. When Candy said, I've told my child when this is where to touch, not where to touch, when they went to go to the doctor and things like that. It's just really opened my eyes as well too. Sometimes we also need to know the exact thing to tell the child on when reporting back. Sometimes
no, Candy.
Like Ron said that when they were growing up, their parents, okay, you're free to tell me anything, just like a family time in the evening, maybe after supper, then everybody just gather, maybe watching TV. Then okay, you can tell me. Sometimes we parents, we don't need to be rigid with our children, because sometimes when I like what Fash said when Ron said, the difference between, or maybe your child is afraid of you or scared of you. There are two things there. There's some children, and Candy said, no, when I look at my son or my daughter, he or she knows exactly what I mean. We shouldn't scare children. Sometimes you scare children to the extent that they can't tell you anything. Like, okay, if I tell daddy this thing, will he beat me? Will he shout at me? What will be his reaction? As Ron said, we should just like in a good mood in the evening time. Oh, come and tell me. Just like free up, so that we shouldn't be timid or rigid with kids, so that they won't be able to hide some of the things they want to say to us. I think we should be more friendly to them. Talk to them in a nice, because I used to believe if you talk to a human being in a nice manner, there is no way you won't get the best out of them. And there is every good in every human being God has created. So I'm sure if we talk to our children nicely, not scaring them, I'm sure they'll be able to open up to us. If they cannot open up to the mother, I'm sure they open up to the father to say, okay, this is what is happening. This is where I went today. This is how I was touched. And I'm sure everything is going to be okay. We'll be on top of. But all parents should be in the front line. This is a battle we need to face head on, because when our children are out there in the playground, in the churches, everywhere, wherever they go, when you're not there, you don't know what is happening. Even most of these things even happen in the church. I'm telling you, when they go to Sunday school, when it happens in the play group, it happened. When they are doing a presentation in school, at the backstage, it happened. So we should be able to always voice out, or when we go to school, ask the teacher, what is any observation my child, as my child has done anything, would you see anything? We should always ask questions. By the time we ask questions, I'm sure we would know. And that's my own take, that parents should be in the front line, because this is not a battle to be left for only the care worker, or to be left with the social worker, or to be left with the teacher, or somebody taking care of the nanny. We must be in the front line to make sure that we know exactly what is going on. That's my own take in this.
Mr. H, you called everybody's name. Hold on. Mr. H called everybody's name. As Abifat said, as Candy said, me where I talk since, you don't see anything. Inside anything where it is well, oh, it is well. Abia, continue.
I was gonna say this, that I think sometimes we kind of invalidate, how will I put it now? You've told me the word again, I've forgotten. When we kind of look at our children and we don't know their capability, or we kind of look at them, we think that we don't need to involve them, underestimate them. We think we don't need to involve them in conversation. Okay, they are not invalid. As much as they are younger, we can call them consequence. Even when you eat sometimes and you eat too much, there's consequence to you eating too much, particularly if you don't like exercise. I say that to my kids, like, if you don't like exercise, don't eat too much. If you eat too much, then you need to burn the calorie. And if you're not burning the calorie, there is higher possibility that you might. It doesn't mean that the food is the only thing that makes you grow bigger. But if you have tendency to grow big, then you need to watch what you are eating. So it's as simple as that. It's not just, don't just say, oh, don't do this because don't do this. Let's have conversations with them. Why are you doing this? What's really happening? Can we have a word? What is the... So don't let them not be negotiating a child as if the child is not valid to any conversation. Why do you want to do this? Why do you need to do this? It's a conversation. They are children. They have ears. They can hear. And it doesn't matter. You might talk to them like 10,000 times. They might not hear you. But remember, everything that most of us have become today is because our parents have talked to us. Maybe the way they will talk to us is different from the way we will say talk to your child now. But let's have more conversations with our children. Let's be able to engage them with, the way, the things, the reason. And I think majority of the things that we do as well is about fear, I always try to make the difference. Like when we are talking about God, for instance, people talk about fear God. I talk about referencing God, and which means that I honor God, I respect God, I don't fear God. So, which is the fear part of it is what we need to take off. It's not about fear. Let people know. As a child, if I tell my child to put her hand in fire now, she's going to be like, Mommy, this is going to hurt me. How does she know that? She already knows that there is a consequence for doing this nonsense. If you put your hand there, oh, Mommy, can I put my hand? I've told my child one day, can you put it and try it and see what it looks like? And it sounds like a very mean thing to do, but since that time, she's never gone there before. It's about consequence. We should echo the consequence more. It's not that, oh, if you do this, you're going to go to hellfire. They might not go to hellfire. Nobody has been to hellfire before. Let's be realistic. They're not going to go to any hellfire. If they do right, they're not going to go to heaven. If they behave right, it's not about heaven, hellfire. Let's talk about the real things that happen on earth. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Well, and on that very, very interesting note, I just want to say thank you to everyone, honestly, because I honestly thought I had actually said to Ron, I said, I don't think I'll be able to do this because this is a big trigger for me. And I'm very surprised, apart from a very short moment when I had to walk away, I'm very, very surprised I'm actually still sitting here. And I really appreciate you guys because you have mostly been very sensitive about it and, thoughtful about it. Now, I'm just going to say this to parents. I'm not a parent like that. I don't have a living child that I'm taking care of. But going back into my own childhood,
Talk to me.
please keep your eyes open, parents. And not just parents. If you are a reasonable person, it's like a person with sense in the neighborhood, and you can see something that is not right with your neighbor's children. Now, you might go there and they call you Akporoko and be like, hey, Akporoko sent you, who asked you to come here? But at least get it off your conscience that you have said something. If you see something that is not right, see something that is wrong, you see that there's a particular man that is going into the house as soon as the mother's car drives away, quickly go to the house and be like, make yourself a nuisance. So the man will vex and leave the place. He's not a family member. You haven't seen him.
Thank God you said that. Please, I like what you just said now. Please, if you live with neighbors, good neighborliness. Please, I don't care how bad they are, how good neighborliness. You can never ever put a price on it.
Even if the mother has been rude to you, she didn't give you salt when you went to ask. But then you see that Mr. Lamaja from down the something, as soon as the mother drives out, he has come. Next thing, the daughter has got to open the door. Go there. Your mother said, Mr. Lamaja, you are here. Welcome. Did you come to see them? But their mother is not around now. What are you doing? The man will take off. They might look at you and call you, I'm a boy. What is that woman? I hate her. This one, that one, that one. But at least you are doing something. You see, the only way we can end this thing is to go back to that being each other's keeper. Until we actually start to look out for each other, we are so isolated, and then we isolate ourselves more with, all the gadgets and everything. But maybe we should just lift up our heads a bit and look around, because there are so many children who are being destroyed right under our noses. Because, Abi Fash said something. We are all culpable in this thing. We are all, our hand is inside. Because it starts from, these are my kids. I don't care about what's happening with next door neighbor's kids. They're not my problem. Or I can't talk to them because, I don't want to be seen as nosy. And then we make excuses upon excuses upon excuses upon excuses upon excuses. And meanwhile, a child's life and several children's lives and thousands of children's lives and millions of children's lives are being destroyed. And these are the children who are now going to grow up and be the people who take over the world after us. What kind of world do you think is going to look like if we do not do something now? So please, not everybody comes out relatively sane. I'm not totally sane, relatively sane. Not everybody comes out of that thing relatively sane. Some people become crazy. Some people end up killing themselves because, you see, what you don't understand is this violation of a body. This violation of a child's body, it leaves a mark that will be there.
What are you saying? Is it only a child? Adults,
let's even leave adults. Let's leave adults. We will deal with adults later. I'm talking about a child's body. That violation stays forever. That child might bury it under memories, but they will act it out in behavior. They are the ones who refuse to commit. They are the ones who refuse to keep one girlfriend. They are just changing girlfriend like changing underwear. They are the ones who can't, get involved in a relationship. They are the ones who are constantly negotiating life with sex. Everything is, what do you want me to do? Okay, I'll come to your house and see you later, but you go give me money. All kinds of stuff. That the mark is there. So please, 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 if you take anything out of everything we've been saying for almost 3 hours now, let us watch out for each other, please. Let us be excuse me, let us be each other's keeper. I beg you. So thank you so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for joining us always, as always. And of course, the panel. Thank you, Candy. Thank you, Bookie. You left. I don't know what happened. Thank you, Mr. H. Thank you, Abby, of course. And of course, the one and only DJ Wiki Wiki Rex. Run
One
Moye.
explain.
Everyone, and also to Nanake, to Dwale, and to I'm trying to see who the other Ada Osakwe, and to every other person who's been tuning in and watching us. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you. Until we do the same time, same place. Take care and God bless.
Take care and God bless.